I can see myself. Can you see me?
I cannot see you.
So again, we're talking about it at the same time with the intro.
No, it was y- technology's pissing me off today.
Yeah, look, like I disappear.
Technology's pissing me off today. Anyway, welcome to Toon Talk 2.0, and you are nowhere to be found.
I am not. I just totally disappear. But
I
I'm
mean,
there.
I
I
mean, you're
mean,
there, but
I'm,
it's not you.
but I'm not there. I'm moving myself in the camera. I took the background, and I just can't. It's just not working. But welcome everyone to the best podcast in the history of good podcast. This is Toon Talk 2.0. Maybe not the most famous, but the best. Yes, my name is Virus Vox. Now here with my co-host Jakey Boy. Welcome everyone. Today's a different day because we have guests. Right, we invited the band Balena, so we're gonna talk with them about their new album release, about their projects, what they're going on with them, and because of Memorial Day, we're gonna talk about something that we really love, that is war movies and war entertainment. I'm not saying that we love war, of course not,
No, no,
but
no,
the
no.
entertainment behind that.
Well,
But
it, I hate to say it this way, but there's because it sounds like I'm glorifying it, and I'm not meaning to. But I mean, there's a lot of filmmakers that say this. It's like, how can you make a war movie that doesn't at least come across as glorifying war? I see a background, but I don't see you.
I know what's going on. I'm getting there.
And I think it's
So
possible, but I think it's rare because war as a backdrop kind of lends itself to, telling incredible stories, not necessarily glorified stories, but you know what I mean.
yeah, and besides that, so we're gonna talk about that. We got Melena, and this is even better. Are you ready? Why? It's my birthday. Yo, what's up?
Oh, I know, I've already said happy birthday twice. It's old news to me. By the
Hey,
way, Justin says happy birthday, Virus. Which, by the way,
thank you, Justin.
this podcast is brought to you by Velena. They'll be joining us later.
Great.
So,
And
so I,
it's what
oh, go ahead.
by David Copperfield.
So I
Sorry.
thought I thought how we would break this down because there's a lot of different kinds of war film out there. So I thought we might do timeline because there are some eras that don't have a lot, and then there's some like World War II that have like a metric fuck ton of movies about it. So I was gonna suggest we start off with touching on some war films or series from, I'm gonna call it ancient times. So this would be pre-medieval period.
Okay. So war movie that is really important that we discussed really, really old is The Caveman with Ringo Starr, the war between the two clans. Do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Come on, dude.
No, I anything that even has any remote connection to the Beatles, I'm no.
Well, you know what? I never liked the Beatles either. That movie's actually funny, bro.
Yeah, people say Yellow Submarine's funny too, and it's a
No, no,
steaming
no,
pile of
no, no, no.
shit.
I mean that the movie Caveman is a funny movie.
Yeah, I
Have you
know.
seen it?
No, I have not, but I saw Yellow Submarine, and that's all I need to.
Yeah, yeah, but you don't understand. He wasn't in the Beatles when they shot Caveman. He's actually an actor in that movie, and actually Dennis Quaid is his first movie. So watch it for Dennis Quaid, and if you don't like it, you can tell me in front of everyone to fuck off. Just a funny movie. But let's get back on. So for a reason, I keep waiting 30 screens to open up with everyone in the company saying "Happy Birthday, Max." I don't know what this. I'm still waiting for that. That sucks. It is decent. Yes, people. I'm talking to all of you. Anyway, where I was?
Uh,
Yes, war movie. So, what
War
is your
movies from
first?
ancient times. One that I like to bring up, and that loosely, like in air quotes, saying it's a historical film is 300 because it is based on historical
Yeah,
events, but it's based on a graphic
it's
novel.
more fantasy. Yeah, and I
It's
was
not
gonna ask you.
yeah, it's not complete fantasy because there were real world events that inspired it, but the movie in and of itself. But I always like to, because with Greek tales, particularly ancient Greek tales, there's always an element of the fantastic. So I always like to imagine 300, and they give you a narrative device in the movie where it's the guy telling the story to the rest of the Spartans. So it
I
kind of,
know.
yeah.
I, And I was going to ask you that because it's going to be really hard to find previous the First World War a movie that is not a lot of fantasy, right? And adaptations. Why? Because the cinematography needs that to be evolved.
Well,
So
not
I'm
only,
going
and
to
not
consider
only, yeah.
war movies like everything that has a war or a
Yeah,
conflict.
yeah, particularly with ancient warfare, because a lot of, and the other reason it's extremely difficult to have a movie about ancient warfare be historically accurate because we just don't know. A lot of the information we have, or at least we started out with, was from old stories. Like we don't even really definitively know if the Trojan War actually happened. There's some
Yeah, we
evidence to
don't know.
suggest it, but we don't definitively know. But Troy is one of those movies. I think I mentioned it before. Troy is one of those movies where I know it's garbage, but I love it.
You know what? For me, was a bad casting.
Yeah, yeah,
Eric Bana, good.
that's about it.
Uh, Brad Pitt,
It's
okay, he
okay.
worked, but Orlando Bloom is a really bad casting for that movie. It makes the movie go down, that's it's weird to understand because he's a really good actor, but in that character, he looks weak. He doesn't look.
And that's the character, but Orlando Bloom doesn't give that vibe. I totally understand
Yeah, for a
what you're saying.
reason he just didn't land the and
Well, and
the
then
female actress.
and and then the justifiable criticism is there's a lot of fucking white dudes in that movie.
Well, yeah, yeah. So let me ask you, Gladiator could be in this list.
Uh, loosely. I'll put it to you this way. If we weren't talking about ancient films, I wouldn't count it. But there is a battle sequence, so I'll count it.
All right. But either
Which,
so, we're just getting close because we're talking about a Memorial Day. So obviously, we need
yeah,
to talk about Vietnam, the
yeah,
First World
yeah.
War, Vietnam.
We're just gonna touch on a couple. But one thing about Gladiator that I like to point this out is everybody talks about how the battle sequence at the beginning is super historically accurate. Um, in some ways, yes, but no cavalry in at any point would be charging through a wooded area. That's no. And especially on uneven terrain. That's just asking to die. Like the Romans would never have done that.
Yeah,
They didn't
you know
need
what?
to. They didn't need
They
to. They
didn't
would
need to.
have
It's a
they
really good movie.
it is, and they get a lot of the although I doubt the Romans would have been using catapults and ballistas in that kind of a pitched battle, but I mean maybe.
They were really strategists. They were really good doing battles. I mean, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
At
they
that
get the
point, they already
infantry
have
good.
half of the world. Um, you know what movie we can talk about war before we jump into the meet and greet of everything? Napoleon. Napoleon, the last movie.
We're not quite there yet.
I know. I say it's a movie that refers war
Yeah.
because of him, but it's a bad movie. It's totally a bad movie.
Yeah, and I'm interested to I haven't watched the director's cut yet. I'm interested to watch the director's cut. I think it will be a much more cohesive movie once because
Yeah,
I understood what you said about it where it's almost like a TikTok highlight reel. And I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
but I think they did that because they were cutting for time and I think they couldn't quite decide if they wanted to make Napoleon seem great or like a failure who was always covering his ass.
So can I act this last scene of Napoleon for you? That's how the movie ends. Remember how he just go
Well, that's
and
I
dies in
mean and that's pretty much it, but like
the. But come on, dude. It's like you can do so many different ways to do it. Come on. Anyway,
you know
Napoleon, you're
yeah,
fucking out.
but in
But
terms
let's
of
go
oh,
to
hang on, I
the
just want to say
first. Okay, go ahead.
want to say one more thing about ancient. I want to see more movies that take place in those sort of ancient times, and I get it. You can't be super historically accurate, but you can try. Like I would like to see a movie about Hannibal Barca. like hardcore. I think that
I
would
mean,
be cool as shit.
they tried, man, but they actually couldn't
I know there's
do
not
it.
enough interest because
Alexander the Great,
okay, so there's really good points in that movie, and then there's really questionable points in that movie, but it's
for a
mostly
start,
good.
Colin Farrell is not a good Alexander the Great.
No, and I agree. For one thing, he's too old. He's way too old. Um, so
No,
but they
he
do.
was young when he did it.
He wasn't young enough. Alexander the Great was like in his early
19.
20s. Yeah, 19 at the
Yeah.
beginning, in his early 20s by the time because he died before 30. Like, and
Okay. Okay.
Colin Farrell was like almost or at 40.
I already opened my hard drive with movies about the army that we're gonna be here 17 hours. Yes, it's gonna be 24 hours of Toon Talk podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna breeze through quite a few periods of history. Any movies during in or around the medieval period, which would be
I remember
pre-Renaissance,
one
basically.
but it's pure fantasy because I love it. I want to mention it. Why? Because it's my birthday and I can do whatever fuck I want to.
Braveheart.
No, no, no. No. Braveheart is the most inaccurate thing. No, I'm saying fantasy.
But it's awesome.
Excalibur.
Okay, okay.
Excalibur.
Is it a
Remember,
war film though?
it is. I mean, it's the war of the conquest of
Yeah, okay,
the.
okay.
I'm thinking about the real Excalibur, you know, that with Merlin going,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
blood by peto, love thing, yellow, blah, 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 blah. It was a good movie. I really like it. And back in the day, I was exactly when that movie was, because it was released and it was famous. It took them like 12 years to become a cult movie. And I was playing Dungeons and Dragons when the second wave was. So it was like a things to watch. But you know that I will specialize more from Vietnam movies to recent movies because I know more about those wars. I'm more involved. Obviously, when you
Oh,
were a little baby, I was already looking war news in you know in the TV. So
okay, so
yeah,
actually, I'm gonna change since this is technically a Memorial Day special. We're gonna jump over all the older shit, and we're gonna start with any movie dealing with the American Revolution, which there aren't that many. There's The Patriot, which
okay,
another one that is not accurate, but still awesome.
yeah. So guide me on this, and for the audience that is not American. So when we say Memorial Day, we're celebrating the soldiers that died defending
Cor-
the country.
Correct.
So the Civil War includes there.
Okay, so technically yes, because
Okay.
this is one of my it's one of my favorite factoids is they always say that the American Civil War is the bloodiest war in American history, and that's true, but that's because both sides casualties are counted as American. So of course it's going to be I mean it makes sense because everyone who died is technically an American, even those that seceded in the Confederacy. But yeah, so do you know of any other movies that take place during the Revolution? Because they did
Yeah,
uh
I mean, yeah, but again, I'm gonna be dragged more to the theatrical. So Gone with the Wind is
that's the
the love
Civil
story
War, yeah.
around the Civil War.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do
I
want to
don't know.
mention though, I didn't care for it, but I commended their effort. I forget the network, but they did Turned Washington Spies, which was an espionage series that took place during the Revolution. I tried to get into it. I couldn't, but I will say the wardrobe was incredible. They actually shot around a bunch of different locations all throughout the United States that were like, for example, if
So
they
I'm gonna
were
take. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna
Keep
say
going.
like like if they shot a scene in Maryland, it was in Maryland or like Delaware or the like. Oh, Justin, yeah, Birth of a Nation. We're not going to talk about, but technically not a war movie because it took place after the Civil War.
So I'm gonna tell you a really war movie. Civil War is called Gettysburg. Gettysburg is a movie. God, I already opened my file. I got a big file that I can share with you. Gods and Generals. Gods and Generals is a sweeping epic charting and the early years of the Civil War and how campaign unfolded from the Manassas of the Battle of Fredericksburg, the prequel to the film Gettysburg. So if you're into uh, the Civil War, you need to watch Gods and Generals because how everything devolved to become Gettysburg. So it's a really good movie. Um, The Warrant. Have you seen that movie, The Warrant?
Mm-mm.
It's I can just go really fast. Tell you, Sheriff John Baker and his son reunite after Civil War to track down a felon veteran, non-notorious gang leader, now notorious gang leader. So all the all the flashbacks, right, of this story take you to the to that. So yes, I think that
Um, two Civil War films
yes.
I'm gonna, yeah, two Civil War films I'm gonna mention real quick. Oh, Lincoln, Justin brought up Lincoln. Actually, Lincoln kind of sucked, in my opinion.
Which one? Which one is that?
It's the one Daniel Day-Lewis plays Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln. I thought you say
Yeah,
LinkedIn. I go like, you know what? It's not a bad movie, but it's thick and slow. There's one Civil War that I really need to mention because it's me, Virus Vox, and I really hate why people took Iron Man in a bad way. Just fucking with you. It's a Civil War, right? Thing is,
yeah.
I just typed Civil War in Apple TV and it teach me all the movies that I have bought. Cold Mountain, right? You know what is really good and it's a different perspective from Civil War? Emancipation with Will Smith.
I haven't seen it, but I want to. I
It's
really
it's
want to.
it's, it's really hard because it's the slavery in that time,
Yeah, and it's
right?
it's it's rough. So another really good series that they did was I think it was in 2016. History Channel went back and remade Roots as a miniseries.
Mm.
Dude, it was extreme, and the original Roots is great. Like, don't get me wrong, but the new one is fantastic, and it goes. So the thing about making movies dealing with slavery in the United States in particular is that you want to be authentic, but it can come across as gratuitous. There's a
Yeah.
line you kind of have to toe, and it's like on the one hand, it's like, well, we want to be accurate, but on the other hand, it rubs some people the wrong way because they think in their minds, oh, this never could have happened. It's like no, and in fact, a lot of these movies toned it down. Like it was really fucking bad. Like there's no sugarcoating it.
And if you allow me, I will uh, close that era with something really new from Apple TV. It's called Manhunt. President Lincoln assassinated 5 days after Civil War right ends. That's everything about this show. So again, all the flashbacks and all the everything is related to Civil War. So that's new. It's in Apple TV. It was released a couple of months ago. Probably not even. So it's really good, man.
All right, so
Um,
I've got a suggestion to keep this flowing a little bit smoother. We'll go back and
yeah.
forth instead of because I know we got a lot of ideas and we're just talking over each other. Okay, so that was yours. The other Civil War, there's two that I really really want to mention. And I know Velena's going to be coming shortly, so we'll pause if need be. But I think a really quintessential Civil War film, other than Gettysburg, which is probably the most accurate in terms of like a single battle, maybe Midway, but we'll touch on that later. Would be Glory. Glory
Ooh,
is an
Lord, I totally forgot
exceptional
about
film.
movie.
Glory is
Yeah,
an exceptional film starring a young Denzel Washington, and Carrie Ewells is in it, and then oh my God, Matthew Broderick, that's that fucker's name. I think this was
Matthew
before.
Broderick.
I think this is before he hit
Before How
somebody
I
with a
Met Your
car.
Mother. I mean, sorry, before Two and a Half Men.
Matthew Broderick?
I'm joking. They look
Okay.
alike. You cannot. They look alike. You cannot deny that they look alike.
I don't
They
think they
do.
look anything alike, but
Anyway, maybe it's my perception. So yeah, we can go back and forward, obviously, because if not, we're just gonna make a list of movies that
oh,
we have seen. We're talking.
and a younger
Go
Morgan
ahead.
Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Come on, do the Morgan Freeman,
I don't
please.
do a very good Morgan Freeman. It sounds more like Cleveland Brown from Family Guy. I don't do a good
That's
Morgan
really
Freeman. I
fun.
wish I could because I fucking love Morgan Freeman, but it's not one I can do. But yeah, Glory's really good.
That's yeah, yeah. I obviously, like I say, I will. verse when it comes to First and Second World War and Vietnam. Why? Because it's not our generation, but it's our movie generation.
Yeah.
Uh, Historical pieces that have an insight that make us feel right for the people in there, and we will jump into that. But I guess our first guest is going to be here in a couple of minutes. I can't believe that we already talked for 30 minutes. How that works?
Because we're both trying to say we're both trying to get a lot in. So I think I made a mistake starting with ancient warfare.
No.
Uh,
I mean, it's good. I think that we should restart after Balena, right? With uh, our favorite movies, and we can go back and forward, right?
yeah, if we go back and
What else
forth,
do
I
you
think
want to
we
do?
can make that. Yeah, if we go, because I was
Because
trying to keep it kind of structured, but I think we're better off going back and forth.
it's complicated because we are well versed, and let's be truthful. I don't see no one celebrating Memorial Day thinking about the Civil War.
No, but technically, I don't know. I bet there's some people at Gettysburg.
Yeah, well, maybe you're right. I don't know.
I bet.
But favorite war movie, just like that, from the top of your head, favorite one. It's hard. It's really
Uh,
hard for you. Favorite in everything, like favorite. Just hit me with your best shot.
I
Hit me
can't
with your
because
best
it
shot.
changes.
Okay, today. Today was your favorite war movie.
Fuck, I don't know. It's okay. Our guests are here.
Oh, Saved by the Bell. Ding, ding, ding. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Toon Talk 2.0.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What up?
It's good to see every one of you here. Valentin, guitar player. Hello. How you
How are you
feeling?
doing, mate? Oh,
We heard
I'm
that.
great. Yeah, still under the weather, but great.
Thank you for being here. Animal drummer from Belena. How are you? You're mute. Animal, you're mute.
Yes,
All right.
you are.
Can you hear me
There
now?
you go.
Better? I'm good. Thank you. And, again, happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday,
Thank
mate. Yeah.
you. You see, that's how people do, Jake. I don't need to remind them 3
I've
times a
told you
day.
happy birthday 3 fucking times. I don't want to hear it.
After I told you, tell me happy birthday, motherfucker. Tell me happy birthday.
Happy
No,
birthday,
okay.
motherfucker.
You did
There
what
you go.
you did what you did what everybody else in my life did is you demand it before I get a chance to do it organically. So now I look like the
It
asshole.
was
You
2
should have
p.m. It was
I
2
was at
p.m.
work.
I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning. You can, okay. Sorry, guest. Rachel Black, how are you? Lead singer from Belena. How are you today?
You sassy
It's
badge.
somebody's birthday. That's what Mama always used to sing to me. So yeah, hey, doing
Thank you
good.
for being here. Red Hunter, how are you today?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself, birthday boy?
There again, I'm good now. That because people remember my fucking birthday, right, Jake?
You're
Thank
so
you.
needy.
Jesus Christ, mate. This is getting
I'm not
serious now.
needy. I'm really special. It's my fucking birthday. You
You're
see, I'm not an
something, all right.
egomaniac, so leave me alone.
Woo!
So, welcome. Thank you for being here. Have I mentioned it's my birthday? I don't think so, but thank you.
No, you
No,
didn't. Happy birthday, mate.
Yeah, no.
thank you. Anyway, so thank you for being here. It's really important for us to know what's going on with Belena. We have Rachel as a guest. I don't know, 4 months ago for the first time, Rachel? 5? When
Probably,
you guys recording the album,
probably
right?
back here. Yeah, September, October.
Yeah, so how you guys were doing, you guys were recording the album. Then we got really excited when Jake listened to Remedy, if I'm correct. Jake, Cut Me to the Quick was your favorite
Well,
first,
that
and
was
then
also the
Remedy.
first one. Well, no, Cut Me to the Quick is still my favorite, but I have Remedy is not a song that would normally be in my wheelhouse, but the more I listen to it, the more I like it. So it's nothing against the song at all, but Cut Me
You,
to the Quick is still my favorite.
you know what? It grew on me too.
I
That's what she
mean,
said. Sorry, I couldn't. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. Uh,
Beat me
Not
to it.
but it's been a good. It's been a pleasure how you guys been evolving. And now the album is out, number 3 in iTunes. What the hell? Good job, guys.
Good.
Tell us what is going on. What's new?
Rachel,
Ah,
all yours.
yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy. And I think that was something with the world charts. We haven't been able to like verify that, but like we have a picture, a screenshot, like, right? So anyways, didn't expect that, but it's we've gotten a lot of really, really positive feedback, and I think that's the thing that we all really wanted was for people to connect with it, and it definitely. I mean, because we all know that the album's like straight bangers, right? But I mean, we
course.
want people to like relate to it too. So, and they really have, and that's been like the most important thing for me because I'm a lyric nerd. So.
Yesterday, I was talking to a friend, and I showed him the album, and he said something really unique about Rachel's voice. Well, I'm going to tell you what he said. Let me explain who this guy is. The guy is an specialist in pop culture. He's been a guest of the show. He has 2 jobs in his life. Are you ready? He was number 3 playing Magic the Gathering, and then now he's a professional poker player. He doesn't do shit but pop culture, okay? That's his life. So he really, I mean, we call him the Oracle. We, as podcasters, call him to ask him questions about something. It's easier to call him than actually Google it.
It's usually
And I
faster.
showed them faster. And he's our personal AI without being artificial, right? Physical intelligence. And I asked him about Belén, and he told me that the guitars were really unique and powerful. That remind him Linkin Park. Congratulations.
Thank you very
He
much.
says that the bass was strong and solid. He's a bass player, so that's a good. He's the most irony meanest guy ever. So him saying something good is really good. It's a really good critique. He said that the drums were solid, that the mix were solid, and then he said that Rachel is a combination between Dolores, right, from the Cranberries, and Hilary Duff. In his
Hilary
first album.
Duff. What?
Yeah, actually, that's not bad at all, man. He said the only 2 good albums from Hilary Duff, and then she got the talent of Dolores, and now we have Rachel. So that's actually not bad at all, man. When you're calling a guy that called everything shit and crap, that's really good. So
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
No.
Yeah, don't be hating on Hillary Duff now.
I
Oh
was
no,
just
no, I don't hate it. I don't hate
Oh,
it.
I'm talking to this guy.
Oh no, I
I'm
don't
pointing
hate
it-
Hilary
I'm pointing
Duff.
at
I
Max.
just.
by the way.
Oh, okay.
but they told you one of the most influential female vocalists of ever, Dolores, right? That's pretty amazing. So yeah, I like that.
know why. You know what it is? It was Bury the Pain that did it, probably.
Yeah, probably.
One of my favorite
Maybe.
songs.
So
Yeah.
what is your favorite songs, Valentin? And what is your favorite song of the album for you? Because you're the guitar player, you're the producer. Which one is the one that you go, this is a song that I'm going to listen to today?
Okay, I have several takes. Bury the Pain as I want to feel something song. I also love it because of the mix. I don't know how that mix got so well, so I love listening for the mix. But then Sleeper because of the production elements. So I'm torn
Nice.
between them too.
What about you, Animal? What is your favorite song of the album? Which one is the one that you, when you're gonna rehearse? Because us as musicians here, not you, Jake. All the rest, there's always that you want to start rehearsing because it pumps you up. What is that one, Animal? Which song is your favorite one?
It's between "Cut Me to the Quick" and "Flight, Flight, Freeze." And
Triple F, I call it. I got used to call it Triple F. It's really hard for
Triple
me
F.
to call it different.
Yeah,
Triple F.
yeah. You've been through what it was almost called, so.
Yeah. Hunter, we obliged to ask you what is your favorite song of the album so far? Because I know everything changes, right? With time.
Well, Bury the Pain was the first one I ever practiced. And it was actually my audition song. So that one, it's just a really fun song. Like it's super simple, but it's so fun to do. Slowly starting to enjoy Remedy a little bit more, just because of like how unique it is. Hell, Rachel's seen me play the bass part to it. Definitely not the way it's recorded, but it looks a hell of a lot more fun.
That's fun. And Rachel, I know that one day you wake up with Remedy, one day you wake up with FFF, some days you wake up with Cut Me to the Quick, but what is your favorite so far from the album?
That is like asking me to choose my favorite child.
Of course, everybody knows who that is, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna
No.
say,
It's
so
like-
you have one, you're just not gonna say it.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you do. Every person has.
All right, I'm torn. I am torn. Okay. I am torn between Fight, Flight, Freeze and Sleeper because, like, if you listen to the original Sleeper, like the OG, right? It's cinematic and dark, and then somehow same chord, same chords, everything like that. It's even a little slower, yet somehow, like, because of the different production elements, it sounds uplifting and like an empowering song, and it just gave it exactly what it needed. So I fell in love with it like all over again, like, you know. And it was in the original Sleeper was the first song that I ever released with me singing. So yeah, it means a lot to me. That song is special.
You know, sir, I'm amazed you say that. To be honest with you, my favorite song of the album is Remedy. The way that the elements of the melody and what it means and how catchy it is, guys. I go to bed sometimes and my brain is, I need an Andy. I go like, oh, get the hell out of my face.
No,
But
that means we did our job right.
I mean, but then, please, guys, you know, I love you. But Paralyze, every time I listen to Paradise, I get sad. I
That's the
actually
whole
been
point.
avoiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been avoiding Paralyze. When I put the whole album and I actually need to, because I'm working and I'm pumped up, I need to skip it. If not, I actually get sad. And that feeling, and I know about the chords and everything, but that could be my second favorite, and Magnetar could probably be my third favorite. I still don't get in love. And all this coming from a realm that I love the whole album, right? Just talking about the songs orders. I still don't go to Fly, Fight, Free. I still don't go there because I like Remedy so much, right?
Fair.
Actually, when I met the band for the first time, I listened to Cut Me to the Quick, and I go like, okay, that's cool. But then when I listen to Remedy, I go like, oh shit, who the fuck is this band? Oh, they're the same that Cut Me to the Quick, right? For me, it was a different process, and I'm sharing this with a lot of people because I know that this is happening with a lot of people that I showed them the album. Maybe it's my commercial brain that I know the Remedy is a commercial success, right? But I don't know. That's just me being me. Jakey boy, what are you thinking? What is in your head? Because I know you post Cut Me to the Quick while you're working out several times.
Well, for a while it was the only one I could because the album hadn't been out yet. But if because Cut Me to the Quick is, I was taken aback at how much I liked it and how good it was the first time I listened to it, and then but I gotta say, Buried the Pain is getting up there. That guitar is sick.
The solo, yeah.
Well, I mean all
The
of it, but
solo is really good.
particularly the solo.
Hmm.
So
It's really good.
I know it's hard, right? But I want the audience to know your background when it comes to your taste. Really fast, top biggest influence, Valentin, of music. The top biggest, your
Northlane.
two favorite. Say that again.
Right now, Northlane for the past 3 years.
Okay. What else? Just two. Another one.
Bring the Horizon.
Nice, nice. So you're into the point. You don't have different influences.
I mean, I have many. I can quote Paris and Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran as well. But, top 2, top 3, last 3 years, it's been those.
Now, as a Latino Argentinian, do you have an influence from any band from Latin America besides Again of Forever? I know you're gonna say that. Let's
Yeah,
not talk
of
about
course.
that right now.
I would say from Argentina, I would say Soda Stereo, of course. and Babasónicos.
Babasónicos, right? For all the people
Yeah.
that don't know, we are from the same country, Valentin and me, right?
Yeah.
But he got the chance to stay more in the country than me, right? Because I was moved when I was a little kid. But yeah, I mean, Babasónicos, I didn't see that coming. Obviously, if you're in Argentina, you need to love Soda Stereo and Maradona, period. The rest, it comes,
Maradona.
So
not
you
that
don't
much.
like Maradona. Thank you so
No.
much. That was Belena. The podcast is over. No, but you know what I mean? Soda Stereo is an institution in music in Latin America and in Argentina.
Yeah.
It's an institution. Gustavo Cerati, the singer that we miss you, Gustavo, right? He passed a few years ago naturally, and then even they tried to give him a life for many years. It's a really sad story. Well, they unplugged him. His family decided to let him go like 4 years after, right? That he was
Yeah.
tried. But he was is considered a musical genius for all Latin America. If you guys don't know them, you gotta listen to the first albums, but you need to listen to the last concert live. It's in iTunes, and you will understand what I'm saying. And if you like the band, I would highly recommend that you go to YouTube and type Soda Stereo Coldplay. When Coldplay went to Buenos Aires to play, they understood the power of Soda Stereo, and actually they play their famous song, and you have the full stadium, right, singing with Coldplay their version of the song, and it's a magical moment to watch. If even you're not a fan, if you look Coldplay playing Soda Stereo, you will like that. What is your thoughts about Charlie Garcia, Valentin?
I think he's a genius, same as Spinetta, remember? But I just don't like him. I don't like the music, and I think he's slightly overrated. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's good. And I'm sorry, everyone here American, but it's really hard for me to actually talk with somebody about Latino music. So please stay with me. Let me tell you that Charlie Garcia is one of my biggest influences as musician, and I got surprised when I started looking into his career. And this is general culture music for you guys. When he was part of a band called Seru Hiran. If you listen to the album Seru Hiran, that it came a year and a half before Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody, there's a song by Seru Hiran that I'm pretty sure that sounds like Bohemian Rhapsody. That's the level of geniuses worth listening to. I'm not lying. You listen to Seru Hiran and then you go like, it is a possibility.
They were geniuses. They were, you know, I'm not denying that. That's for sure. You know, that's a fact.
But I'm asking myself in this crazy brain of mine, do you think that Freddie Mercury actually listened to Seru Hiran to create that? It could be. It could be. It could be. You never know. The Bee Gees in the past, they make reference to Latin American music, as the Police make reference to the African music. All the drums from Summers, right? That's the drummer from the Police. They transformed because he was listening to African music that nobody knew, right?
Okay.
So there's a lot of similarities. Yes, some of the lyrics are really proof. The guy's totally crazy. He's like 77 years now. He got a mustache the colors of Rachel's hair. Half is blonde, half is black. He's like a Frank Zappa for Latin America, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Drunk. He gets drunk. He gets high. He forgets the lyrics all the time. He's a true rock star. He was graduated from the conservatory at 6 years old, right? So that's kind of weird. So, but anyway, it's been a big influence. And just to close the Charlie Garcia thing, the Rolling Stone released a list 10 years ago, something like that. And the saddest song ever written in the history of music in rock, right? They give it to Charlie Garcia with the song 3 a.m. You guys want to listen and get extremely depressed? The song 3 a.m. is a song.
That track, something else.
That something else. The last minutes before somebody killed himself, and it's so deep and so real and raw.
Yeah.
That and the progression of music. But let's close the Latin America thing. Sorry, I let myself go. I apologize.
Your excuse.
Good.
Two big influences.
For drums, it would be Abe Cunningham of the Deftones, Carter Beauford of Dave Matthews Band.
Okay. Explain me again why you like the Dave Matthews Band. I never find a way to like them. I never animal. I mean, Deftones, bro. The
Right.
manager of Deftones is a friend of mine, and I love them. And the new drummer that he was found in TikTok is crazy. The new drummer, but
New drummer for Deftones. Talking about
oh no, sorry,
Slipknot?
that's tendencies. Sorry, Silas tendencies. I
Oh, okay.
apologize
Right.
because
No,
they toured together, so it was my mistake.
yeah.
But Dave Matthews Band, they sound like a cover band from a bad hotel in Minnesota.
Well, I said the drummer specifically. Okay. I mean, opinions are not on Dave Matthews Band.
Okay.
Totally fine. But as a drummer, Carter Beauford is
Oh
one
yeah.
of the best.
Okay.
It's absolutely one of the best.
You know what drummers I found really underrated? You remember the band The Stain?
Yeah.
That drummer is so
Yes,
good.
he is.
Nobody talks about him.
Yes, he's very
Like
good.
no one. And the one from we're gonna stay here 17 hours, so I'm gonna cut myself off. Before we go to the deep part of the band, let's go to Hunter first. Bass players, Hunter.
Bass players.
Or not bass player or bands. Bands that drives you nuts that you go, these are the bands that I
Bands
like.
that have definitely influenced me are Thornhill and
Okay.
Era.
Era, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Like
That's nice.
I would say Era just released a new album, but they also they did like their own take on Stockholm Syndrome,
Yeah.
originally performed by Muse. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god, that is just so good. It's so good. Like I wouldn't have even thought that it wasn't Era's song originally if I hadn't seen the YouTube video for it first. Like I'd have just thought they just pulled it out. But their twin vocalists are like on point.
So when you listen to that song, you really don't want to stay there, but then you fall in love with it. Sorry,
I just
Stockholm Syndrome. Everyone, it's a joke.
yeah.
Sorry, I could help myself. Sorry. That's good.
That was
Rachel,
good. Took me a second.
you are Rachel. You are the most unique singer when it comes to taste, because one day you're singing "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" before you make a cover with the band. The next 30 minutes you're singing "Blinding Lights." Then you're making a jokes about Papa Roach, but then you told me that you love metal. So, what is your biggest influences? And I know this is gonna go crazy, but
I love Papa Roach. What are you talking about? I didn't dog on him.
no, I say that sometimes you make jokes referring Papa Roach.
Okay.
So, what is your biggest influences when it comes to bands or vocalists?
Okay. You. I'm gonna have to say my biggest influence. Oh, but that's like if I had to pick two, I don't know if I can. Ah, okay. Um, Definitely top is Motionless in White. I just it's an obsession. Like I cannot stop listening. And
Mhm.
uh so one of my she's I look up to her a lot. So Spirit Box because Courtney LaPlante, she's like beautiful voice and then like gnarly screams and I mean you just yeah, I love it. Love it.
Does that, Jake? Let me bring you into the conversation between Bad Bunny and Christina Aguilera, that your favorite singers. What is your
Well,
other influences with your favorite bands? And you're not allowed to say Verlaine and Again and Forever, okay? We
no,
know
I
that's a
wasn't.
fact.
Yeah, come on, please. Please
I,
no.
I wasn't going to because I mean, as much as I love both bands, they've only come into my life recently. I mean, I listen to literally a bit of everything, but I will say this much. Disturbed is the first. Well, okay, no, take that. Yeah, Disturbed was the first band that I probably became obsessed with Because prior to buying The Sickness, I didn't really understand why so many people were like obsessed with music. I'm like, yeah, I listen to the radio and it's cool and all, but I never really I was in middle school when that album came out, but when I was listening to it for the first time, I was like, oh, I get it now. And then this is gonna make Virus laugh, but the next band that I became like very much obsessed with was Styx.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
To
That's
yeah.
not bad.
and to this day though, my friends still give me shit. 'Cause you got to remember, I was like in middle school, high school, and I'm like, so I laugh hysterically. There's an episode of that '70s show where Eric is trying to get his friends to wait in line for him to buy concert tickets for Styx, and they're all making fun of him. And then he wakes up in front of the box office and he's like, "Oh, did I miss it?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're out of tickets for Sabbath." And he's like, "No, Styx. I prefer a lighter orchestral sound." And then she's like,
That's
"Oh,
funny.
well, you're the only one." And I'm like, I identify with that so much because to this day, my friends give me shit for liking Sticks, and I'm just like, sorry, sorry, no,
I
Sticks is the
I
shit.
know, they don't understand, they don't understand.
it's not a bad band if you like to dress in pink and kiss other guys. I mean, yeah, that's good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Everybody can choose their gender, but it's my birthday on my podcast, so fuck whatever the one no one is gonna listen to this. Fuck off. Anyway,
It's not my fault. You're knee deep in the grand illusion, my friend.
whatever you want to say. Sticks is not a bad band. I'm just messing with
I
you.
know.
What is the Shakira? Shakira is your next option.
Actually, no, I don't really care. I like I respect Shakira, but I don't care much for
but her
it's.
hits
Hey,
don't.
wait,
I knew
wait.
that you were gonna say that.
First two albums, they were really, really good.
I will say I
But you know
prefer
that they
Shakira
don't
in
know these
Spanish.
albums,
What?
Valentin. They don't know these albums because they weren't edited in America. I mean, you can find it in
Makes sense.
Spotify, and the power of those first two albums are the lyrics. The
Yeah.
lyrics of Inolvidable, I think is the song, or
Inolvidable. Yeah,
Inevitable. Inevitable.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
drum, the toom, 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 bah,
Oh,
it's
mate.
really fantastic. And Donde Están los Ladrones, that was their first album. The lyrics are fantastic.
Hmm?
Okay, I
Yeah.
know that people do not faint after I say this, but actually I was in my second college. I started college really early, but it was in college when Donde Están los Ladrones was released. So it was a song that has a lot of power, right? That album. But
Yeah.
let's be honest, everyone loves Shakira because of the way she danced and because she was really hot. Period. Let's be honest.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, Jake, you only date Latinas. Why you make that face?
So, but by virtue of that logic, the Latinas that I date love Shakira because she's hot and she dances.
Yeah.
Could be.
Hey,
Let
listen.
me tell you the secret of music. Everyone needs to want to be like you, and everyone wants to be with you.
Okay,
That's the secret of music.
explain Adele and Aretha Franklin and
Okay, let's just start for
Meatloaf.
You have
Adele.
taste for
and-
everything, mate.
That's
Chubby
true,
gives
that's
love.
true.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What?
Chubby mama gives love. What's up? You want to go out with Adele?
What's wrong with Adele? Yeah.
You wanna go out
There's
with
nothing
Adele
wrong with Adele.
right now?
I'm just saying she was like you're making the case that
Bad words.
no, I'm not.
Aretha?
Oh my God, I'm not
Aretha
dogging on
was
Adele.
super hot. Aretha was really hot her first 6 albums. Then she gained weight. But the beginning, dude,
Who?
Aretha Franklin.
Oh.
Yeah, Adele the opposite. Adele was a little big mama gamma, and then she become hot.
And she
Fucking
sold out
course.
concerts because people wanted to hear her sing, not because she was hot and she danced.
But she was marketing is complicated in music, bro. Market is complicated in music.
I
You
think
can
you
have
just
a bad
lost,
band. A really bad let me go there. And please, everyone can interrupt in the moment that you want. You can find a really bad band promoting really hard in Europe, and then you come here and make it a legend. Nirvana was a piece of shit band, really well produced, but a really shit band. But you got a pretty boy that wanted to look ugly, right? The drama kid died at 27. Nirvana, let's be honest, at the same time that Nirvana was out, you have Soundgarden that it was perfectly done, and then you have Pearl Jam that it was hard workers at the same time, right? Next to Porno for Pyros, next to I'm talking about that era of grunge, but they choose what is easy to sell. So ugly guys that perform in bands is similar to overweight women that perform in pop. But anyway, that's just my perception of the music. Go ahead, Jake. Just start destroying me. Come
But
on.
the way you're talking about it, you're acting like Pearl Jam didn't make it big. You're acting like Soundgarden isn't famous. The way you're
Yeah, no, but
saying it anyway.
compares with numbers, dude. Nirvana become legend in the second album. Pearl Jam, the only album that sold massively was the first one. The 10 of Pearl Jam tripled the numbers compared to Animal, to Versus, sorry. And the third one, Vitalogy, was one of the worst albums in sales in many levels.
But then how are they like that just doesn't make sense to me because you can still buy Pearl Jam. I mean, you can still buy Nirvana albums, but like
I never said that they were bad. I said that the support of the media and the power of the media pushing Nirvana was overwhelming. They weren't that good compared to those two. And you guys are musicians. Talking about musicians, not fame. Don't you think that Pearl Jam and Soundgarden was better than Nirvana in many ways?
No.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Really? Yes. What
I mean-
about you, Hunter?
I didn't really give a damn about Nirvana besides
Thank you.
Dave Grohl. Sorry.
No, but Dave today, we all love Dave today.
Mhm.
Today we love Dave, right?
Hey,
Back in the day, he
I'm
was the
gonna
guy.
okay. I'm gonna say something. Kurt Cobain lied when he said he didn't have a gun. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh.
I believe you.
Yeah. Well, that blows my mind.
Oh, whew.
You know what, Max? You know what? I think it's not a case of is Kurt Cobain harder or is Nirvana better or worse. I think it's a cultural thing because right in the 90s, they were the voice of an angry generation.
Mm-hmm.
Way better. I mean, they were voicing that anger a lot better than Soundgarden or Pearl Jam because the songs were raw as fuck. And he was
Yeah.
screaming with a sandpaper voice,
Yeah.
and just being angry, and people were vibing with that.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. In retrospective, yes. But right in that moment, now that we look back, it's like, oh, yeah, I was a voice of a generation that needed to express that. I get that. But back in the day, trust me, I lived that era. I was 12 when Nirvana came out, right? I lived that. I was 11 when it came out. I lived the grunge older period till I was in college here. They called me the Pro Jam junkie at college. And back in the day, when you have the band in front of you, before it becomes an icon and somebody can tell there was a voice of a generation, and you have it in front, the massive support of the media to Nirvana was unreal. They were promoting two bands in the world, the Backstreet Boys and Nirvana, back to back in MTV all the time. So I was like, I don't know if you guys listen to the radio and you listen to the same freaking Miley Cyrus song today, all day.
Yeah.
That was Nirvana. That was Nirvana. Of course, you're going to love it. I'm not saying that they were bad. I like some tracks from Nirvana. I think the Unplugged album is a really good album, right?
Excellent. Yeah.
But if you go back and listen to Bleach from Nirvana, it's like a bad done demo.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
that's the first album.
That's for sure.
Right.
That was the third. That's the second or third.
What's the
Yeah,
third?
but to Nevermind.
No.
Yeah, Bleach was the first one with Dave Grohl on it, but it was like the third.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Nevermind, and something that, and we can go deep on that. The power of the producer. You be the producer of Belena, right?
Oh, Big Butch.
The producer. Yeah, Big Butch was Nirvana. With all due
He
respect.
was Nevermind. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, he was Nevermind because the band itself didn't have the matureness or the knowledge to sound the way they sound.
Oh,
and
no.
Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, and I'm not saying they were not famous or they're not magnificent. I'm talking the top of the top, like the best in that era, right? Maybe I'm missing a few bands, but what I'm saying is that for me, Nirvana wasn't the top, but it was marketable easier because there were three. You have the pretty boy that wanted to look bad, the voice of a generation, if you will, right? Obviously, I'm older than every one of you. I got the chance to look at them live, and I was like, what the fuck? They were out of rhythm. The guitar was out of tune. He was more than high as fuck. He didn't give a fuck about the audience. Dave Grohl and whatever the name of the bass player is, because
Chris
till the day I
Novoselic.
really don't. There you go, Chris. So the other guy, Nirvana, right? They were trying their best, but dude, they were trying to follow a guy that it was not there. But the marketing was correct, as you say. The marketing guided them to be the voice of a generation. Now, with all this background and all this craziness that I went to, I'm asking you guys, the four members of Valena, what are you are trying to do with this album, and what is the point to become that voice of a generation? Because I heard several times Rachel to say this album is a statement for, right? So you want to share that with our listeners, Rachel, and the band?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first, but no, it's to me it's really always been about, like I said, I'm a lyric nerd, always have been, always will be. I analyze and I process really weird when I write, but um it's, it's a concept album, so it talks about like, basically a lot of my life and going into, people have traumatic events that happen, which was cut me to the quick. So it starts at the beginning there and then kind of follows along this journey of trying to numb and trying to dissociate and, struggles that you have with mental health, like, and paralyzed. And Remedy is I was just desperate to find a way to fix instead of feeling the pain. You know what I mean? So, but it's like and then there it ends in hope and overcoming, right? Um, Now that doesn't mean life's perfect, but no, like for me, the biggest thing is I've always been very open. I am an open book. And I decided, and I actually learned this going through recovery, is that I have to be able to just be me and share because I shouldn't be alive right now. And I'm grateful for my life. It was because of my addiction that I almost lost my life. I lost my sister to her addiction. And so that's why that's a big central point of the album. Like with Remedy, it's our happy sad song, right? Because when you listen to the lyrics, they're really it's desperate. It's yeah, that was a daily struggle for me, and I just want for there to be a meaning, a deep meaning, and a really deep rooted connection and community with our fans. His music saved my life when I was a teenager. Like I was super emo, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I would sit there and I would just listen to the lyrics. And I mean, I can remember so many songs that impacted my life and made me feel like I'm not alone. I always felt like I was an outsider, but I felt, okay, someone else understands me. This song is amazing. And like, it was like they went inside my brain and then like sang what I was thinking. And that to me, like, is what I hope, even if it's just one person feels like they have a voice. So we started thinking about this saying, right, is be unusual. You have a place like here with us. We really want to build that community where people know, if they can't speak up for themselves, there's people who will, people who got your back.
So you're saying that Belena will be the voice of this generation that find themselves lost and find the way that they can have a hope through your music?
I think finding hope again, finding a place to belong, and knowing that you're not alone, and it's okay to be you, 100% unapologetically you.
You heard it direct from the singer of Elena. So Beyond Usual, the album Save Me From Myself is out in every platform, right? And we highly recommend it. We really care about the band. We love the band. I know it's late, Valentin in Argentina, right? I know you'll be good. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Animal. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you all. Remember, listen to Valena. Save Me From Myself. The album is in every platform. And thank you for being here, people. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Awesome. Bye.
Peace. There you go.
There you go. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
Had to say that. So.
Thank you, boy. So, what do you think about Valena?
What do you mean? I love Elena. You know I love Elena.
I know it's pretty cool. So, amazing that we have them here. I know that I passed 10 minutes the interview, Jake, right? But let's go back to our.
You do realize they're still here, right?
Yeah, and I mean they can stay if they want.
I was like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go now.
Basically, yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
Y'all have a
I
wonderful
ain't gonna stay and
day.
talk about gore movies. You're more than welcome. But yeah,
No,
the thing is, I got the. I know.
Dog. Woo.
What was that?
Dobby.
The dog.
Oh, the dog.
Dobby.
Yeah.
You so
But thank you, everyone. Thank you guys for being here.
All right.
You guys are amazing.
Hey,
Thank you.
night.
Bye.
See you later.
Hey.
Yeah, I know they were there, but I mean, I got the focus and the camera changes. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
so
know
we
me,
left
I'm a
off.
pro. I respect the numbers. I
Yeah, yeah.
respect the times.
Yeah, so only other things I wanted to bring up for the Civil War. There's a TV miniseries that good luck finding it on streaming. I doubt you can. You'll probably have to buy the DVD, but it's worth it. It's called The Blue and the Gray. It's a miniseries that follows an extended family that gets caught in the middle of the Civil War, and one young man who leaves his home in Virginia and moves to, I believe, Pennsylvania or Washington, D.C. to become a war correspondent. And he has to deal with the ramifications of his direct family being Confederates, but him technically following the Union Army around and he refuses to take part in either side. He simply wants to observe but it's a very interesting series and a very good one. And then the only other movie is The Free State of Jones, starring Matthew McConaughey. The opening battle sequence is really, really good. Shows how gnarly it actually was, because the opening sequence actually shows him going to a field hospital during the Civil
No,
War, which is like very reminiscent of a butcher shop, except the animals aren't dead, not yet. And I will say this much though, the movie's quite accurate, but a lot of people will find it boring because it's almost too accurate. It's almost too true to the story of Newton Knight that some people might find it slow.
and you know that's a fact. Obviously, life is different than entertainment, right?
Yes.
And more when we're dealing with a story. And I'm gonna jump, sorry, to Second World War. I mean, First World War. Jackson Ridge is an amazing movie, right? I found it.
Hacksaw Ridge
It's
is
one of
World
the.
War II.
Are you sure it's not the first one?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Anyway, so my first instinct was fine. I got confused by the uniform. So
No, those are World War II uniforms.
okay, you're right. Now I trust you. My point is like that movie, the way that it actually happened and the way that they put in the movie, exactly the same but condensed, right?
Yeah, I mean other than a handful of elements, but
I
they're
know, but I
so
get confused
they're so
because they're
minor.
fighting Japan. They're fighting
Yeah.
Japan, and I got confused. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And
they need to have a narrative. They need to have a
oh yeah,
narrative. If not, people will watch it.
And what I'm saying, because I love Hacksaw Ridge. First of all, ever since Full Metal Jacket, every movie in well, just about every movie that goes through training has to have their Full Metal Jacket moment with their drill sergeant. I'll
Yeah.
be honest, Hacksaw Ridges is probably my favorite because just the shock of seeing Vince Vaughn of all people come in, and I swear it's so funny to me. I was not ready for that in the movie theater. I lost my
No.
shit, and I just love that when he's like, "Henceforth, I will refer to you as Chief, as a sign of great respect to your people." And the fucking guy's Polish.
I know. It's you know what? He got the capability in that movie to be funny without being funny and being serious.
Yeah.
So I really like him in serious roles, to be
I
honest
do.
with you.
Yeah, he's really good, and then the whole scene is hilarious, especially the opening, because again, you don't see it coming. He just walks up to go, "How long have you been dead, son?"
uh, I really love that movie. I think it's one of the movies that, you know what, I like. I always been known, and you know this, for trying to get a bad memory and transform it into a good memory, right? And it could go really bad and try to make it good. And when you go and see this movie, watch this movie, it at the end of the day, after all that awful war and awful loss of many young people, uh, this movie give you a good taste, a
Yeah, but
good
at the
feeling
same
of hope.
time, but at the same time, it does. So I will put it to you like this: if there's a historical movie being made, I'm probably going to go see it in the theater. But I was blown away so much that my wife at the time went on a trip, and I was by myself all weekend. I went and saw Hacksaw Ridge in the theater two more times that weekend. I was just
Wow, yeah,
blown away by it. It was so good. And
so
also,
good.
I recently learned of the Spanish title that Hacksaw Ridge was under, and I'll be honest, I don't know which one I like more.
What is the Spanish
So
title? I think it
so
was
the Spanish title is Hasta el último hombre,
Until the Last Man.
last man, which is a
Hmm.
real banger title. I had to explain to my girlfriend because she said, "Oh, I want to watch this you should watch this movie. It's really good." And I'm like, "I've never heard of it." She said, "That's just the Spanish title." And I'm just like,
Hmm.
and then I looked it up and I'm like, "Oh, Hacksaw Ridge." And she's like, "That's not right." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. Let me explain." I said Hacksaw Ridge is the location, but in the Spanish, because you can't really translate a proper name, right? So
Yeah, and it's so hard that even see, for people that will live in America, say hacksaw ridge is really hard. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
so hard.
yeah.
Um, like I said, we're gonna go back and forward. You know what movies are really good, and I'm gonna go forward to the Desert Storm. Guy
Sorry.
Ritchie's The Covenant.
Oh, that's my recommendation tonight.
Oh, really, man? If you have people haven't watched it, such a good
Yeah.
movie, man.
I'll give you more information on it during my recommendation. But yeah, I swear I had my recommendations picked out real early today. So that was when I was like
Yeah,
going back and forth. Yeah. I wasn't sure we would
that,
touch on it, which is why I made it my recommendation.
that's good. Sorry, I didn't want to burn your joke. But you know what I mean. But you know what? And I'm gonna say it there, the lone soldier, the lone survivor.
That's a downer. Yeah.
It's a
It's
dog, but it's so real.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's very good.
I don't. Peter Berg is probably one of my favorite five directors. Right? People will tell me what I don't put Cameron in that top five. To be honest with you, because sometimes fame doesn't reflect talent. Now, all my recommendations, because we live in this entertainment world, at the top of the top, right? I'm not saying that, no, but when it came to Peter Berg, seeing his transition from TV shows, right, to a movie like this one is The Lone Survivor is such a good movie. And something that I like about the guy that he jumped from TV to movies and he brought his team with him. So you get that feeling of Friday Night Lights, right? And even you have Taylor Creech, that he was a football player. He was as a Marine, as a SEAL. And it's so good. The movie, how the first half of the movie, they make you feel part of the SEAL team. You
Yeah,
know the
and
character.
I was gonna say, so one of the reasons that movie's so effective is it's very in close. It's very, so I get what you, yeah, like his TV background played a big part, but even during the action scenes, they're really close and you're in the thick of it. And
Yeah.
that's part of why it's so jarring. And I mean, I will say this much, the sound direction's fantastic because when somebody falls, like you hear everything so well that you fucking feel it.
You feel
Like,
it. And you know the music from that. I think we have a private conversation, not online. The music of that movie is the same. Is the guys that they make the music for his some of his TV shows. Peter
probably, yeah.
Berg. I told you I don't remember the name of the band. It's just a musical band, and I don't know if somebody in the audience or somebody can Google it for me. Right? The people that make the movie, the sound is the same that they did the music for Friday Night Lights, the TV show, not the
Not the movie.
not the not the movie. That band, Jake, is a band that drives you to a feeling. And then when you add up what you're saying, close shots, perfect sound, and then that guitar, ding ding, right? Then the snare going. It's like it's a really good movie. Yeah, Lone Survivor is. And now I'm going back and forward anywhere. Do you know what movie is a downer? Now that you say downer.
So the band you're looking at, it's Steve Jablonsky of
Oh,
Explosions
got
in the
it.
Sky.
Explosion in the Sky. Right, when you say the name of the guy, Explosion in the Sky. Yeah, highly recommended. Right, you guys know that I never prepare my recommendations, but keep in mind Explosion in the Sky. Talking about downers, American Sniper, dude.
I mean, yes, oh, the end, yeah, but
Yeah, the end is like, you know what? After so much things, I really wasn't expecting that ending.
well, I was because I know the story of Chris Kyle,
You knew
but
the story, but
yeah, yeah,
I mean, they could finish the story 2 weeks before he died, and we didn't get it, right?
right.
But it's such a downer. I remember I watched it when it was out, then I watched it when I had COVID, right? And I was like, yeah. And then I watched it like 3 months ago. I remember it was midnight when I'm finishing the movie. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it, like, don't get me wrong, it's good. It's good. What's it?
The comment.
Justin says the only thing I know about American Sniper was the fake baby. Oh,
Well, what do you mean? What do you
I'm
mean?
I'm I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about.
Can you explain us more about that?
Yeah,
You
can you
can jump
clarify?
and do it if
Is
you want
it
to
is
jump
it
in.
this is it the scene with the woman? It looks like she's holding something, but it's a I can't remember. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Well, let me tell you, it's really hard for Clint Eastwood to make a mistake, a visual mistake. Clint Eastwood is an amazing director,
He really
and
is.
something about Clint Eastwood is that he doesn't rush his movies. He's fuck you. I'm gonna do the movie as I want it. Have you seen? And this is not a war movie, but have you seen his last movie? Something about a chicken, a roaster, a
No.
rooster, and like this kid that is illegal, and he's doing whatever it takes to take him to his family. The movie is slow. He's paced at his own pace, and even the movie goes probably an hour more than it's supposed to be, right? You still get his art. I really respect Clint Eastwood
Yeah.
more
I
as a
I like
director than as an actor.
so there's two movies of his that I didn't really care for. And they were made to go together. They were two halves of a loosely tied narrative was Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. I
Okay,
didn't
yeah.
love either one.
I didn't like love, but again, I really respect that he uses his taste
Yeah.
and he developed the story to his necessities, not to the
And
media necessities. And I really love
I
that.
mean I'm sure I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that love those movies. I just didn't love them a lot.
As much.
Yeah. I mean I've seen both of them. And I had to watch Letters from Iwo Jima twice because I'll be honest, the first time I watched it, I fell
I
asleep. I
fell
was
asleep.
not.
I fell
Yeah,
asleep.
yeah,
I'm not blaming you. I did the same.
yeah.
Um,
It's I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't. Switching gears a bit to another movie that has a really good drill sergeant scene. And I will say this movie starts out really good, and then honestly, it kind of meanders in the middle. But then the ending is like, nice and depressing for a war movie. Is Jarhead?
Ooh, I like it. Ironically, even I love that actor. In this one, I find myself uncomfortable watching Jarhead.
Why is that?
Probably because I got a lot of friends in the army. Probably because my grandfather was in the army. So Jarhead is a little too personal for me, maybe.
It is. The beginning has a lot of really good and iconic moment because I already talked about Full Metal Jacket, Justin. I said after Full Metal Jacket, any war movie that goes through basic training has to have their Full Metal Jacket early army moment, and Jarhead is one of those movies. By the way, I just saw that you uploaded something about me crashing Noah, so I look forward to watching that.
You can go on, Jake. I
Yeah, yeah.
just step out.
I
So
just
you
took.
know what? Let's go back to Full Metal Jacket for a second. Do you remember the lines of that they get memorized about their gun?
This
This is
is
my rifle. This is
well,
my gun.
oh, are you talking about the cadence or their actual like pledge or
No, the
whatever?
little song that they
Yeah,
sing.
this
Yeah,
is my
the
rifle.
song.
This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun.
It's for yeah. It's really that's a really good thing. It's something that is beautiful about the movies. They have so many iconic moments, right? That they're gonna stay with us till the end of our days.
Well, I don't know, but I've been told Eskimo pussy's mighty cold.
You guys, can you repeat that? What?
I said, well, I don't know, but I've been told Eskimo pussy's mighty cold.
Yeah. Uh, let me tell you another line. What was the prostitute in Vietnam? $5.
Oh, me so
Me
horny, me
love
love you
you
long
long.
time.
Me so horny. Yeah, I mean, again, those lines they stay with you, right?
Or and
Me so horny.
then
Yeah,
what is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
yeah.
How tall are you?
Now,
I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
D'Onofrio acting there is one of the most strong war actings in this whole generation.
It's up there, yeah.
No, I mean, tell me from the top of your mind, as an expertise that we criticize movies for a living. Tell me another secondary role that has so
Oh,
much power as D'Onofrio.
a secondary role. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because he's not the lead actor.
Yeah, okay, for a sec. Oh, you know what? Oh, damn it, and I cannot remember
Joker is
his
the
name.
first actor. The lead actor of that movie is Joker,
Yeah,
Private Joker.
yeah. Um, shit. No, okay. Second, when you clarified secondary, I can't. Yeah, I don't know that I can.
And I'm gonna push my limits in a general role. Tell me one that is as memorable and as strong in every characteristic of acting like him. Because I mean, Mark Wahlberg does an amazing role, but it's not D'Onofrio. And I'm talking about even Michael J. Fox in the Red Thin Line, right? Uh,
Okay, so fun fact, I couldn't get into the Thin Red Line. I couldn't. I didn't
it's
finish
a
it.
bad casting. It's a bad casting. It's not a bad movie. It's a bad casting. It's
I've
it's
tried
a
to
bad
watch it
casting.
twice. I've tried to watch it twice. I can't get into it.
Like I say, it's a bad casting. Jarhead, amazing movie. Okay, tell me about this because this movie came out, and again, we're not here to talk about political moments when the movie got released and all that crap. Zero Dark 30.
It's another one. I tried to like it. I mean, it's all right. I couldn't get into it. There's a lot of in the beginning there's a lot of standing around and not doing a lot. And I get it. They're
Yeah.
trying to, I understand what they're doing, and I'm not dogging because they're trying to make you feel like one of the people who's waiting for the mission to start. I get it. But again, when you put that on a screen, I didn't care much for it, but that's just me.
You know what is and I'm me looking everything because I got like so many options, but it's giving me more. My dad's favorite movie was a war movie, but not a real movie, right? Uh, I'm gonna need your brain here because I know the name in Spanish. So Teddy Savalas, 12 ex-convicts getting trained to go and attack a tower of Nazis. In Spanish was called Doce en el Patíbulo. That's a really hard name. Teddy Savalas, do you remember Koyak?
Yeah.
The actor from so Teddy Savalas was in that movie, younger. The 12, there was something about the 12. I can just Google it, but man,
Well, so
that movie.
while you're doing, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Come
Well,
on,
I
come.
was gonna say because I just changed my recommendation because I want to make sure I be able to talk about this movie, and you already brought up The Covenant, so we'll just say watch Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. It is fucking amazing, and
It's amazing.
it's so good, and it came out at a very pertinent time because the story follows a U.S. soldier who is saved by his Afghan interpreter, like saved from death, and then he goes back to the States, and then they find out the Taliban's got a price on his interpreter's head, and through all the BS bureaucracy, he doesn't have to, but he elects to go back himself and rescue his friend and his friend's family. And this is it came out shortly after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan,
Yeah,
and it's very, very pertinent.
I
And
got
then,
the movie, The Dirty Dozen.
is that a
Have you
war
watched that
movie?
movie?
Oh, yes,
I
duh.
mean, yeah, it's a war movie, right?
I'm sorry.
It's like I say,
I was getting
it's
it
not.
confused with the
It's
Magnificent Seven.
no. This is a few more, Jake. This is the Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen, for people that don't know, like I say, was my dad's favorite movie, and
It's
it's
good.
these 12 ex-convicts that they get put together for a Mission Impossible,
Yeah,
right? And it's a good movie. It's an entertaining movie.
yeah. Well,
I just
yeah,
looking at movies in front of me, and I suddenly went like, oh, couldn't remember that one. So yeah.
yeah. And then we got Haley joining in saying, uh, she says, I dislike that movie and I don't remember why. I'm not sure which one she's talking about. And then she said, I was reading the comments because I jumped in, and that reminds me, Justin, that we watched Lincoln in middle school for a class trip for a history class, and I hated it. Because, yeah, it is
Which one?
Lincoln.
Which one? Lincoln. Yeah.
Hey, have you
So,
seen Kandahar?
and you see what I'm kind of hard. Yes. So check this out. Look my selection here. So the ambush, I haven't watched it. Right. Look at that ambush. I really want to watch it, and I will watch after this show. Uh,
There's a really good movie that I found on Netflix of all places. It's called The Siege of Jadotville, which is
okay.
about an Irish UN unit that gets surrounded in it's somewhere in Africa. I cannot remember where, but it's much better than you think it's going to be. It's pretty good. Stars Jamie Dornan. And I just came across Kandahar recently, and I wonder if it's good because I haven't seen it yet, but I want to watch it.
So we got to talk about this. This is a movie that we need to talk
Oh,
about.
yeah, this is funny
Black
because
Hole Down is
yeah,
good, man.
it is, and what's really funny though is the first time I watched it, I didn't like it, but then I watched it again and realized how good it was.
Oh, really? What? Why that? What was that?
I don't know. Like the first time I saw it was shortly after it came out, and then it was I say a few years ago. It was probably like 5 or 6 years ago that I watched it again, and I was like, "What was I thinking? This movie's great."
Yeah, it is.
Well,
I
you
really
can't
like
talk.
it.
Yeah, you can't talk about war movies without talking about Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I was waiting for the end because Saving Private Ryan is. Come on, we still have half an hour. I got a couple of fans that they go. Well, today is your podcast of 5 hours. I go like, stop pushing me. We will make it 24.
I mean,
Uh,
realistically, we could go all day talking about war movies. There are so many, and there's so many good ones.
and we're such fans of that. But Saving Private Ryan is
It's
such a
not the
fan.
best movie, Haley, but it's up there. And that, like, I say that
Which one?
Saving Private Ryan.
I'm with you, Ailey. Probably is one of my favorites. Ty Dog Rich is there
Here's
next to, you know
okay.
which one? Before, because I really want to, the top for me could be Saving Private Ryan. I'm with you. Maybe it's
I'll
not
give
the
you a list, Haley. So Saving Private Ryan has one of the best combat scenes in it for sure. But after that, the plot changes, and that's fine. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's a very, very good movie. And thanks to it, we got the wonderful HBO miniseries that we all know and love, which I'll touch on later during recommendations, because I had a feeling you and I are both going
So
to
you
pick one
don't
of
want
the
to talk about Bands of Brothers?
not yet. It's
Yeah,
coming.
I was a joke. Sorry. It's coming. So you know what movie is really good to talk before we jump into the private Saving Private Ryan? Fury. Let me tell
I,
you, I watched it once and I didn't like it. I was like, ah. But the other day I was watching it in Oculus and I got a chance like to feel
oh,
inside
I bet
and
in
everything
Oculus
changed.
it's different. Yeah, yeah.
Everything changed. Because in a moment I was suddenly I felt inside of the tank and I start feeling I think the movie is really strong to digest in one scene. That's what I think about Fury. But it's a good movie, and more I see Brad Pitt, more I like the guy, man. It's like he's. I used to think it's a pretty face, and he keeps showing more things.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Like he looks
speed.
good.
I'm gonna go speed round on a couple because there's movies that you should see. Jumping back to the First World War, 1917.
Well, I got a problem with 1917. I
Don't.
got it right here in
No,
front of
you're
me.
wrong. You're wrong.
Sam Mendes
Uh-huh.
is an amazing. Let me go. Let me finish. Let me finish. It's an amazing director. What they did with the camera magic that makes you feel that it's one shot is really good. I love that. But in moments, there's not the tension that you request, like Saving Private Ryan. Uh, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, and maybe the audience can help us out. But there's a moment in Saving Private Ryan. Stay with me, Jake, please. It's my birthday. Be nice. Uh, more than the fights, more than everything, there's two scenes in Saving Private Ryan that they're stuck in my brain, and I will not even try to write, direct, be involved, or even watch another movie without expecting that from Hollywood. Because we're talking about Western war movies here. We haven't
Hmm.
even started talking about Japanese and European movies. The moment when he goes and tell the guy by mistake that his brothers die and he's not Private Ryan, that scene is like, what the fuck, dude? The guy's devastated because he thinks his brother died, but he's another Private Ryan. Remember that scene?
Yeah, yeah.
And dances there and whatever. So that is like, but then when the medic dies and he starts saying, Mama, Mama, that scene, man, the acting, the light, the direction, the script, the casting, the whole, you can see that the scene was raw without editing. And it's such a powerful scene.
But there's a scene that I would argue is on par, and if not better, when you consider that it was done in one take, is when Blake dies in 19. Spoiler alert.
But bro, 1917 is created for you to think that it was shot in one. It didn't was shot in one.
That
People, I
scene
mean,
was though, because they don't cut.
they cut. I
Not during
saw.
that scene. Not during that scene.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I'm gonna give you
I'm
the
talking I'm talking
benefit of
about
that.
only the scene once we pan
And I
over to
believe you
Blake.
because I believe
Yeah.
in your work. It's not that I didn't dislike it. Again, there's not a war movie that I won't like. Period.
Oh no, there's
But
some, but they're bad. That's
we
bad
can
ones.
talk. We can give a little period of the bad ones. But 1917 is there for me, but it's in my top 20. It's not in my top 10.
Oh, it's
Personally.
definitely in my top 10. And it's, I mean, so me personally, I wanted, and I still want more of them, but I had never really seen what I would consider a good First World War movie that wasn't a really like intimate portrait. And what I mean by that is there are World War One movies, but you don't typically see, like, there's the first All Quiet on the Western. Is that
Yes, I received my ex-girlfriend and a dear friend of mine, right? And her amazing daughter, Haley, that is her birthday today. So she watching this. Happy birthday, Haley. She sent me this box of chocolate. Check this out, man. This arrived 2 days ago.
and they're gone.
2 days ago. So yes, keep going,
By,
please. I apologize.
by the way, Haley says happy birthday, Virus.
Thank you, Haley. So I'm gonna
Shit.
eat this one for you, Jake. This
Yes,
one
you
for
did,
Haley.
Different Haley,
Look,
Haley.
this one for Haley. Different Haley. And this for me. Okay, keep going. I'm gonna
Okay.
listen to you.
So as a history buff and a fan of movies, I wanted to see like what I would consider a big budget First World War movie that actually took place on a battlefield. Now I know 1917 is barely fits that description, but it's what I wanted. And then next movie I'm going to talk about, then I got exactly what I wanted in the form of the 2022 remake of, which I shouldn't even say remake because it's technically an adaptation of All Quiet on the Western Front. First time the movie's ever been produced in German and with a majority German cast, at least for the Germans. And holy shit, it's
That's a
so
really
good.
good movie.
Um, yeah, it's really good. My biggest problem with it is the fact that it's called All Quiet on the Western Front because it diverts from the book significantly, but it's such a good movie, and I get it. But I would have watched it if it was called something different, but a lot of people wouldn't have.
It won an Academy Award, right?
I don't yes, I
It won
believe
as
it
a
did.
best movie.
It wasn't Best Picture, no, but hang on, I can look that up.
It was something big. I remember it was something big. For everyone with diabetes, everyone that with bad denture, everyone that cannot eat this chocolate, this is for you. Jakey boy, this is my last dark chocolate one. I ate 48 chocolates in 3 days.
So okay, it won a few Oscars. Never mind. So it won Best Production Design. It won Best
That's the one.
International Feature Film, Best Original Score, Best Cinematography, and it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Visual Effects, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and Best Sound. But it won 4, and for a fucking Netflix movie.
Bro, that's what I told you. I remember that it was good. Come on, Netflix is a big studio, man. You cannot. It's good. You know, and I'm gonna go back to my favorite era of war movies. This movie was a surprise by director Doug Liman, and surprising is like John Cena did a really good job. The movie is The Wall.
Mm. Yep.
Tension all the time.
Yep.
I'm not gonna. If you haven't watched it, people, I'm gonna ruin the end for you. But because it's really recent, I mean, 2017, but it's so good. It's as good as this Ferrero Rocher.
So it's mediocre and produced in the United States. I'm kidding. But I also do want
What
to
are you
touch
talking
on
about?
Ferrero
They're not
Rocher is
produced
made in.
in the United States.
Yes, they are.
Made in Poland, brother. So if you actually gonna eat something and somebody's gonna send you a gift, they can
Oh,
buy
you
the
know
made in
what?
Poland one.
I'm wrong. I'm thinking of Ghirardelli, which is made in Ohio.
Just for the record, this collection edition, and I really appreciate that Nadine sent this to me, right? Because he was really nice. She knows that they're one of my favorite chocolates because the dark ones, they're made in Germany. The original Ferrero Rocher, the original one are made in Germany too, and the other one in Poland, the white ones. So this is the real edition.
Yeah.
So good that seriously I've been eating 32 and I'm not even sick. I mean, probably I'm gonna gain a few pounds, but
But I do want to touch on the original All Quiet on the Western Front, which is still an exceptionally
I never
good
watched
movie.
it.
Oh, you should. It's quite good. It's very good. I mean, obviously, certain aspects of it are dated, and all the Germans sound like, well, because they're Americans, but they all sound like they're from A Streetcar Named Desire. But it's a good movie. There's actually there's this little quirk of older movies around like the 30s and 40s and even in the early 50s where there are lines of dialogue that aren't on the surface funny, but they're like genuine. Casablanca has a lot of lines like this too, where they're just kind of shoehorned in discreetly. Like there's a moment where they're planning on skipping out of camp in All Quiet on the Western Front, and then one of their, I think it's Yadin, says to him, he's like, "Now remember, the Kaiser wants you up bright and early," you know. But it's not like an obvious joke, but it comes across very funny.
So, Saving Private Ryan. Sorry. So Saving Private Ryan is good because it touches the heart of the American people. The simple fact when we're listening to and you need to help me with this, the letter that explains that is written by the president. Well,
Hmm.
not written by the president. The statement by the president that says that if a mother lost three kids, they're gonna bring their fourth back, and understanding that you go on a mission that actually costs more lives.
And so here's the thing about Saving Private Ryan. So first of all, there is no rule in the military.
I don't know.
Um,
It's
and
not. I know.
and they would never have done that. Now there's some
Hold a
precedent that
second.
go ahead.
If it's somebody really important, they will. But
Well,
not on that rule. That's what I never say is a
yeah,
rule. That was say
yeah,
the letter that they say in the movie. No, I
yeah.
know it's not. It's not real.
Now there's some precedent because the story is loosely based on the Nyland brothers, I think they were, where there were five
Yeah.
of them, and it was presumed four died. It turns out another one did survive. He was just missing in action, and he eventually came back home. But yeah, so and it's funny because the movie even makes mention of that is like, why are we allocating all these resources for one guy? They never would have done that. Um, and actually,
Unless it's somebody really important.
but if somebody's really
Not
important,
another soldier, but it's really important.
right, but that would be like a rescue mission because if somebody was really important, they wouldn't be,
This was a rescue mission.
you know what I mean. This was somebody who was deployed behind enemy lines in the first
No,
place.
I get it, but it
Yeah.
became a rescue mission. I
Right,
know what
right.
you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now going back to the World War, I talk about this. It's a really personal topic for me because Masters of Air, that is a movie that was released, a TV series, please, a mini series. January 26th of this year. It's I think eight episodes. I'm looking right now. It's 8 episodes, like I say, 9 episodes of the bomb squads, right? That they were sent to send the bombs,
Hmm.
right? And you see the evolution of technology, how the first 4 episodes, right? They were just going straight, hoping not to get hit. There's no defenses, just one machine gun against explosions. And I know I talk about this. I learned through the documentary that is Masters of Earth, the documentary on Apple TV, that you see when we see all the planes flying and all the explosions, those things explode and they send
Yeah,
big pieces of
there's
metal. I didn't
shrapnel.
know
Yep.
I
Yep.
didn't know that. So I'm like, holy shit. And like I said, I already talked about this, but my grandfather fought, and he was a captain of an airplane, and he fought for the States. And so watching that show for me, I was in tears all the time, man. I was in tears all the time because the two lead actors, they get caught and they were sent to a prison camp, and they go through a lot the whole show. We see the first African American squad that they're fighting as one.
Ah, the
We see how
Tuskegee Airmen. Yep.
they just could get, yeah, and more than that, how they inside the army and inside the militaries, there's no racism. To be honest with you, there could be in the training camp, but
There
when you go over
there
there,
was.
what I say that they could be at the beginning, right? Because we come from a different culture. Everyone, when you go to a situation like that, but where you're in the front, man, I don't fucking give a fuck,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah. Okay. You're going a different.
what I say
Yeah.
is like war change the color and you just become green or red or whatever
Well, I
what you're
mean,
fighting
I,
for.
I mean, I mean to a point, but it's worth noting that there were still segregated units until I believe Vietnam. I could be wrong, but certainly during the Second World War. And the whole plight of the Tuskegee Airmen was they were not allowed to be combat pilots, and they had to demonstrate that they're so there's a movie called Red Tails that documents all this, which
Yeah,
it's an all right movie.
it's not good developed, but it's a good intent. That movie, yeah,
It's worth watching. And there's a great moment which most people don't even notice. They show the first German jet fighters. There's
yeah,
a battle where they engage them, and I'm like, this is so cool to see because that.
that's awesome.
But I have a question for Haley real quick, and then I've got two more now that have
Yeah.
to do with aviation in the Second World. But Haley, have you seen the remake of All Quiet on the Western Front? Because everything you're talking about is the original. So just that
So
question.
can you tell our audience who Haley is, please?
Haley is the host of the Part of Your Broadway World podcast, and Justin, who was commenting earlier, is the host of the Spur of the Moment podcast, which you can check out on the Arte Podcast Pantheon. And their shows are wonderful. You should definitely check them out. In
There
particular,
you
because you're
go.
watching this one, which is a pop culture podcast, so Spur of the Moment's right up your alley. And I was actually on their most recent episode, and you get to watch me tear the movie Noah a new asshole because they made me watch it, and I still haven't forgiven them for that. And then if you're a Disney and or Broadway fan, you should check out Haley. What was Justin just said? Yeah, it took me a full 15 minutes of the movie to realize they were supposed to be German. In the original one, yeah, but I'm talking about the remake because the remake's in German.
So
But of All
this
Quiet.
is for Justin. No, that's fine. This is for Justin. If you could like war TV series, Justin, Apple TV, and I'm not recommending this, but I suggest that you watch this. Uh, Echo 3. Have you seen that TV show? It's one of those TV shows, Jake, that and to our audience that they pass like inadvert, like nobody give them a lot, but Echo 3 is so real, man. Uh, I highly recommend. Of course, we're talking about war movies. I'm not gonna go into details, but if you like modern military, modern, because of course there's the wars that we know, the wars that they're fought that we don't know, the special seals that we'll never know that happened, but this is based on a real story. And they're kidnapping an American that was protected by the CIA, and his brother and his husband are leaders of the SEAL team. So they go on a black op under a black op to try to save him from the cartel in Colombia. It's just really good, man.
Oh, and
So it became a war TV show.
yeah.
Um,
Justin says unfortunately he doesn't have Apple TV, so he'd have to sail the seven seas. And I asked Haley if she was referring to the remake, but I should have been asking Justin if he was referring to the original All Quiet or uh, if he'd seen the new version. But speaking
so
of
I gotta go ahead.
speaking of aviators in the Second World War, though, have you seen the movie Midway?
Don't recall.
Okay, so Roland Emmerich, of all people, who, for those who don't know, Roland Emmerich was behind Braveheart. Roland Emmerich made probably the most accurate while
What is the name again?
Midway. So he made probably the most accurate
Midway.
while simultaneously being entertaining war film ever. Midway is so accurate that they even get the times right. There's a moment in the movie that you think is Hollywood, but it actually happened.
Oh, and it's recent. It's 2019.
Yeah, there's only one
Hmm.
thing that bothers me about Midway. It's at the very end. There's a text crawl that says that this film is
Don't
dead. What?
go ahead. Just ruin it for me, the end.
Well, it doesn't ruin anything, but at the end there's a text crawl that says this film is dedicated to the American and Japanese sailors, airmen, and navies. And I'm just like, nah, that didn't sit right with me.
Why?
Because the Japanese were not the Imperial Japanese Navy and Army at that time did some of the most horrible shit in human history.
Yeah, but they were following orders, brother. You cannot
No,
be that
see,
American,
You
Indiana.
say that no, 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 no. They were actually standing. And now again, I know they weren't
I
enforced.
make an apology for all our international audience
No,
because
I'm not talking.
our leader
Well,
is a little racist.
China would disagree with you. Um, no, dude, I've got zero. No, there's so the movie
So
accurately portrays some of the atrocities that the Japanese, but they tone it down. But if you want to see a movie that shows the Japanese
just for you to
atrocities,
know, but stop there. The movie that you're mentioning is a remake from
yes.
1976 that it was Charlton Heston, Henry Fonda, and Jace Coburn, and it's wow.
Is it actually a remake though? Because it's based on a
Yeah,
historical
I'm
event.
watching it right now. I'm watching it like right now. It's totally a remake, but I mean with a different perception. But
Yeah.
there's many. But Tora. Have you watched that movie?
Oh yeah, Tora is a classic.
I forgot about this movie. This is a classic, 1970.
Yeah, Tora is a classic. As is, I go to bat for this movie a lot. Pearl Harbor. It's actually a really good movie. People shit on it. It's good, man.
Mm,
It's good.
it's not a bad movie, but it becomes a romantic movie instead of a war movie. And I get it; it's part of the what needs to be selling. I don't dislike it, but I will never watch it again.
Oh
I'm
no,
saving midway because I'm
it's
gonna
good.
watch it.
Okay, so but hang on, I've got to because you brought this up. If you want to watch some movies that accurately portray and probably some tone it down, except for one, the atrocities of the Imperial Japanese of World War II, zero reflection on Japan of today. You can watch a film called To End All Wars, which is quite good, starring the very talented Robert Carlyle and Kiefer Sutherland and Mark Strong are all in it. It's very good. Follows the journey of some um, English or Scottish POWs in Japan.
Okay.
And it's funny because they actually, it's not funny. I'm sorry. It's interesting because they are the POWs that are working on the railroad that is the same railroad from bridge over the river Kwai, and it's actually the same unit that they're talking about. And then I've mentioned this movie before, but I'm going to mention it again. There's a movie called Flowers of War. It's not it's based on true events, but they change a lot fictionally. But it's a very historically not accurate, but faithful. It's historically faithful. Um, and holy shit, it's a rough watch. It's not a pleasant experience, but it very accurately portrays the barbarity, in particular, during the rape of Nanking, and it lives up to its name. So be warned, it's a rough watch.
Remind me, because I'm not a fan. The movie that was the first movie directed by Angelina Jolie, On Chain. What was the name? On Chain. That is a war movie about a prisoners of war in Japan.
Let me
I
see.
can Google here, but just put Angelina Jolie. Actually, it's not a bad movie. I remember the poster was two hands like this on with chain. I think it's on chain. Really, really good. And that's a good movie. So I'm gonna ask you. Something came into my mind. A war movie will be considered everything that is around that. So I'm googling things in front of me. There's a movie from 2001 called The War Bride.
Mm.
Funny. I mean, I'm just getting suggestions. Obviously, Sarajevo War. If it's, did you find that
No, I don't
that
think it's
movie?
called Unchained. Um,
You can just put Angelina Jolie first director movie. You will find it.
yeah. Oh, and then
So,
another war movie that I caution you to have a strong stomach is Beasts of No Nation. I believe it's a Netflix original. It follows an African child soldier, and it's fucking brutal. Um, it's a rough watch.
Okay, before we jump into one of your recommendations, I want to talk about HBO The Pacific. The Pacific is the Second World War. It's a TV show that is more, it gets involved with war. I think it's the First World War. I'm a little confused. I was
Of
that
which
confused with
the Pacific is the second.
the second. So it's a good show, but I highly recommend that you watch The Pacific and then you watch our boss recommendation, Band of Brothers, because I did the opposite. And I hated the first 5 episodes of The Pacific because I was like, when something is going to happen. Because Band of Brothers is such a good movie, man. We
Yeah,
cannot
it's
leave this because we're getting close to recommendations. We need to talk about Inglourious Bastards.
I fucking hate that movie.
Why?
It's
Because of the end?
garbage. No, the whole thing's
No, it's not
garbage. It's a piece
garbage.
of shit. Yes, it is. It's so
It's,
I hate it. I hate it when Quentin Tarantino takes history and fucks it up. Like I know he did it intentionally. I know he didn't get it wrong, but I don't like that movie. I hated it so much.
I at the beginning was my perception was that, but then I start thinking that if you're gonna be so open, changing the end to pretend a better ending, give me a second. Give me a second. It just changed my perspective. You know what? It changed my perspective when I watched someplace in Hollywood. What was the name? The new one.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
When I saw that, and because I followed that, well, I didn't follow. I didn't board that there, but I was so intrigued about the Mason, and you know about the album that I'm doing, the perception
Yep.
of blah blah blah.
Yep.
That when I saw that in that reality, right? Sharon Tate didn't die the way it dies.
Yeah,
The
see, I
bad
didn't like
people
that one
died.
either.
No, but wait. In my perception, I went like, you know what? Maybe it's cool that somebody fucking did the right thing because the question has been asked for several times. If you could travel in time, would you go back and kill Hitler before he was a kid? Before he was Hitler, he's seeing a new perspective on a what ifs. But why we're actually open to see what ifs in Doctor Strange and Spider Man, but not in the history. Like I say, I'm with you. Probably it's not a clear explanation of that, but creating a what if to have a better ending that we live in the world, I don't find that bad. That's what I wanted to bring. If you guys understand that it's a what if ending, I got it. And I know we're running late, but just want to talk one before we go recommendations. This movie changed my life. This is the first time that I was really young, really young. I was probably 9 years old when I watched this movie. Why? Yeah, because my family, I watch movies. And they were traveling all the time. Probably I didn't supposed to watch it. But I didn't realize back in the day that Steven Spielberg was somebody else more than E.T., right? So it's my first time seeing John Malkovich and Christian Bale, The Empire of the Sun.
Mm.
Empire of the Sun is a magnificent piece of art. And when you see Christian Bale, that people might love it or hate it, when you see Christian Bale being a method actor at the age of 10 years old, right? It's just worthy to watch. I don't know if he got nominations. I don't know, but what a great movie to watch. I'm like I said, I'm just telling movies that I'm running into, and I've been blessed and happy to see them, right? But yeah, I think it's time for recommendations, Jakey boy.
Alrighty. So my first, which by the way, Justin said, referring to Inglorious Bastards, I said I thought that movie was bad and my coworkers treated me like I was insane. What bothered me what bothered me is that it was marketed as Brad Pitt killing Nazis and it turned out to be a boring foreign film.
That's a little
I'm
tough,
sorry.
brother. But yeah, it was like,
I should have said Brad Pitt killing Nazis.
yeah, there you go, Nazis. So, what
Nazis.
is your first recommendation movie? This is gonna be tough, man, because we just have one recommendation and we love a lot of
Yeah,
movies. So,
it's really hard. So the reason I picked this one is because I picked The Covenant because I didn't think a lot of because it wasn't marketed heavily. So I thought maybe
no,
there was a chance that people didn't see it, but then you brought it up. So this one I guarantee most of you have never heard of. It's a movie called My Way. At least that's the English title. I don't know what the original Korean title is because I don't speak Korean. But so the movie follows, and it's based on an allegedly true story. I say allegedly because they did find a Korean soldier in a German uniform on D-Day, and this was the story he told, but it's been impossible to substantiate. But there's reason enough to believe that it's at least plausible. But anyway, it follows the harrowing tale of Kim Jun-shik, who is forced conscripted into the Japanese Imperial Army and is then taken captive by the Soviet Army and is then captured by the Germans and then is forced to fight on the Oster Battalion on D-Day, and then is subsequently, well, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it's a rough story. And there's a few things I love about it. There are, let's see, there's Japanese, Korean, Russian, German, and the tiniest bit of English. So there's and Chinese. So there's 6 languages throughout the entire film. I recommend watching the original with subtitles, but I will say this because I was forced to watch the dub with a group of people. The dub is not terrible, but it loses some of the punch because there are moments in the movie where, so for example, there's a moment where Kim Jun-shik is talking with a Chinese POW and he doesn't understand her, but if you're watching the dub, it seems like he does, so it loses a little bit of the punch. Um, and then same when they get captured by the Soviets, only one of the characters speaks Russian. So it just doesn't come across when you're watching the whole thing in English. But it's an extremely well done movie with a lot of really, really good battle set pieces. And if you like war movies that have a ton of stress in them, as they all should, it's a very, very well made, well done movie, and it's worth seeing.
Okay, nice. This is really hard for me, man. Because I took all my favorite ones, and I'm just gonna be true to myself. So, because my TV series and my strange one are really unique, and there's not a lot of people, but the movie I've been thinking since we decided to make this one, and obviously I'm not gonna say Captain America and the First Soldier. Could be a
Technically a
war
war
movie.
movie. Technically a war
But
movie.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I just say that for my nerd fans that I'm a nerd like them. But probably, and I'm gonna say, thing is, I don't want to say Saving Private Ryan, but my brain is telling me to say that. You know what? Fuck it. Saving Private Ryan is not the best, but for me, one of the top 5 war movies. If you've seen it, go and see it again. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. It's a really good movie. So
if you
please
haven't
go
seen
and check
it,
it out.
yeah. If you
Yeah,
haven't
and
seen it
honestly,
and you're either a movie or a history fan, if you're a movie or a history fan, you've seen it. So I don't know why I'm talking to you. And if you haven't, rectify that mistake immediately.
but maybe you were in a coma, or maybe you were in jail,
Maybe, yeah. I
maybe you
mean,
were
it's
in
it's on.
allegedly accused. But yeah, yeah, that's my recommendation. Saving Private Ryan. I tried to go their way, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. Now,
I mean, they play it every American holiday, so it's on TV.
yeah, but you never know, right? I never seen it on TV. I haven't watched TV like in 8 years. But anyway, TV series, because this one is gonna get intense for me.
Okay, what
You
is
have
your
your
TV? What is your TV series?
Are you ready? You haven't watched this because back in the day when HBO wasn't HBO, they released a show called Generation Kill. That is so beautiful because about the desert storm, and you have the survivors, their life, and then you go to the show. Then it stops and you see the survivors talking. So it's not a documentary, it's a script show. It's around, I guess, 8 episodes of this tour that we're following a few guys of the army and Marines. Sorry, in Desert Storm, that is actual facts. So that's really good, man. Generation Kill is. Do you have it?
No.
No. Oh, because I used to have the collection thing, but I don't have it anymore. Anyway, Generation Kill. HBO is called HBO Generation Kill. So check it out. It's really good. What about
Alrighty.
you?
So it ties in with Band of Brothers too, but it's kind of cliche, but it's probably the best.
But you can say Band of Brother because we jumped
That's
and
what
we
I'm
didn't actually.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But I'm saying it's probably the best military television series ever produced, even to this day. It's fucking perfect. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Um, there
David
are no
Superman, but yeah.
do what?
David, the guy from Friends.
No, but even him, he's the most unlikable character in the series, so it works.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
It
like
worked.
imagine Ross in a World War II military uniform, and that he does it to perfection. It's great. Captain Soval, by the way, is his name in the show. The only
The
thing,
battle. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so the only critique you can make, and everybody lets them. Well, okay, so there's two. So they do portray. I forget which episode number it is, but it's God damn it, Foxhole Norman. God damn it, what's his name? He's their commanding officer when they're outside of Foy. They do portray him in a slightly overly unfavorable light, but that's minor. And then there are plenty of scenes where characters have their helmets removed when they wouldn't, but we all understand why they do that because it's cinema.
Yeah.
I'm saying that the gripes are so minor that they're really not even worth mentioning.
Yeah.
It's such a great, and obviously they play with timelines and they
I
combine
was gonna tell you
characters.
that the episode when they're in the foxhole in the snow is so raw and so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's a really good show. Like I say, if you haven't watched The Pacific and Bands of Brothers, please, if you have the stomach, watch The Pacific and then watch Band of Brothers. Because if you watch Band of Brothers, I was like, when I'm watching this, you know that I followed through everything, right? But on the first 6 episodes of The Pacific, I'm like, really? The same producers? Really? Really?
Yeah, and so here's the thing about the Pacific that I was not told this. So obviously the Pacific came out later, so you're expecting another Band of Brothers, but in the Pacific that follows a unit.
Or something to top that.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing though, it does follow a unit, but characters aren't necessarily at the unit in the same time. So like you have
Yeah.
Eugene Sledge, who doesn't join the unit until I think like episode 3 or 4, like because he's at the
Yeah,
tail end.
the show starts getting better at 6. Episode 6 is when you go, oh,
It's good.
I
It's
have a
good because
band of brothers here.
yeah, well, and kind of because you start out, and in hindsight, I love it because when I first watched it, I was like you, I didn't love it, and I still prefer Band of Brothers, but the Pacific has a very so you start out following Bob Leckie and John Basilone primarily. John Basilone eventually, spoiler alert, he really did die on
Captain
Iwo Jima.
America. Yeah.
I mean,
That is Captain America.
let's
It
be
was written,
real.
Captain America was written because of him.
Yeah. Oh
Was
yeah.
inspired.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say
Yeah.
if you want a real life Captain America, John Basilone is probably it.
No, but seriously, John Basilone was an inspiration when they wrote Steve Rogers, I think. Don't you think?
Maybe in the incarnation around the Second World War, but Captain
Yeah.
America existed prior. But I think probably the version
So
that
maybe they adapted because I read something
I
that
was gonna say, so probably the version that we know today is probably the one that's loosely based on John Basilone. Um,
yeah.
the Hitler punching one is definitely John Basilone. And then by the time Eugene Sledge joins the unit, and by the way, so for those of you who don't know, Remy Malek, who gained international stardom by starring as Freddie
Yeah,
Mercury, he
he started
plays
there.
Snafu in the Pacific
That is a crazy, but
so well that I actually thought that motherfucker was from Louisiana by the way he
yeah,
talks in that movie. Turns out he's a fucking Egyptian Englishman. Like, oh no,
yeah,
he's an American. Never mind.
it's American, yeah.
Yeah, he's American,
No,
but
but he's really good with accents. Yeah,
he's
it is
extremely
really
good.
good.
But I mean, he's in there,
So,
and it's like, yeah, it's really surreal to watch it now. So, but it's a really good movie, and they really do show just the difference in the type of combat. Because, like, don't get me wrong, it all sucked, but the war in the Pacific was just a lot. It was different.
I got something for you that is really weird for my weird recommendation. Already,
Mhm.
Barefoot Jen.
Mm. Oh no. Okay, disclaimer. If you have a weak stomach, Do not watch it or read it because it's a manga too,
19,
correct?
1983,
Oh,
Hiroshima, August 1945. Jen is a cheerful elementary school student living in Japan during the World War II. After years of living with difficult wartime radiation and impoverishment condition, Jen and his family have to maintain a relative normal life. This movie's tough. Is director Mori Masaki. If you like anime, adult anime, right? Barefoot Jen is something that you need to watch, and that's my weird recommendation. I will not tell them more because I don't like to give them
oh
anything,
man,
but
you gotta warn them a little bit.
well, they're adults. They have 71% Rotten Tomatoes. Like I say, it's not for kids, right?
No,
Just
do not. Okay,
deal
that's my
deal with it.
disclaimer. That's my disclaimer. Absolutely do not
It's
let
in
your children watch it.
it's in Amazon Prime. Yeah, remember, it's in not because it's in a cartoon means that it's for kids,
No.
right?
So I'm gonna piggyback on that just to make mention of it. Another really heartbreaking movie about from the Japanese perspective in World War II is Grave of the Fireflies from Studio Ghibli.
Oh, good. And I'm the one giving warnings. Okay, God, what is your strange
Oh,
thing?
Barefoot Gen is way worse. But anyway, so my weird
So,
thing. Oh, go ahead.
no, no, I say go ahead with your weird thing.
Yeah. So my weird thing, as is pretty much you're used to it by now, the the original novel, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Of
Um,
course, I got it.
it
I got it.
it it's a great read, and there's actually so in my phone, I keep a list of quotes, and there was one that just hit me when I went to reread the book again, and they say, no, we're not talking about Tony Robbins. Where is that?
What are
I'll
you
find it
talking
here in a
about,
second.
Tony Robbins?
Oh, I've got some Tony Robbins quotes in here.
Ah,
Just gotta find. Okay, here it
you know
is.
what? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I remember a war movie that deserved to be named. That probably was my recommendations. Damn it. Go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so the quote that I have in my phone, and I just remember I went back and reread it like 4 times because I thought it was so not funny, but like, and not ironic. What's the word I'm thinking of? Where it's like so damn true that it kind of makes you chuckle. I don't know. There's a word for that, but anyway,
Tickets,
maybe.
facetious.
No, anyway. So the quote is this is they're talking about their drill sergeant when they're in training. But our protagonist says it is very clear that the unhappiness of the world is so often brought on by small men.
Okay.
But yeah, so highly recommend it. And I actually recommend that you see all the adaptations of All Quiet on the Western Front, but it started with this one. And keep in mind, this book was originally written in 1923, I believe, but I'm going to check myself. 1928. The original German Im Westen nichts Neues. So actually, that translates to In the West, nothing new. So the English title's a little bit better, but it rings different in German.
So I'm gonna name this because I don't know why my brain didn't bring it before, but I'm glad because I will hate myself. I'm just gonna read you the synopsis and then I'm gonna tell you what it is. As World War One's break into Europe, Roy and Monte, two brothers studying at Oxford University, enlist in the Royal Flying Corps to fight for Queen and country. While their college friend Carl is drafted in Germany, a love triangle involving Monty, Roy, and Roy's girlfriend, the brothers' disparate personality, and Monty cowardice of the face of war soon threatened to compromise a top secret bombing mission over German territory. So this movie, it was released in 1930, and it was directed by the guy that I admired the most, that is called Howard Hughes. For the people who don't understand who Howard Hughes was, he was the first independent movie maker in the history. The first independent guy that said, "Put my money and make a big movie." He bet it all and he nailed it. Then you can watch the movie The Aviator. I'm talking about Howard Hughes before he crashed and hit his head and went cuckoo. because the movie they protect him as crazy, but no, after the crash over Beverly Hills, he got weird. Before that, he wasn't weird. He was a genius in business and technology. For people that want to know more about Howard Hughes, he inspired the story of Howard Stark for the fans. Howard Stark's actually Howard Hughes. You can see the mustache and that innovation and visionary. So anyway, and it said that books. Of course, I'm gonna say this because I'm a classic guy. You need to read the Diaries of Anne Frank. You need to.
So
That's my recommendation.
you're getting some extra recommendations this week. But speaking of, it's a book that's very reminiscent to Anne Frank, but it's more narratively structured because it is fiction. It's a book called Number the Stars. It's an
Never heard
extremely
of
good.
it.
It's a very good book. It's a very good book. It follows again, very
It
loose
follows like
because I don't I don't want to give away, but it's about a Jewish girl in, I believe it's set in Denmark, who gets taken in and hidden by her best friend's family because she's Jewish and her best friend's family are not. But it's a great book. It's a fantastic book.
nice. Music. What are you gonna say? I'm gonna go classic. Classic with something. Edith Piaf. Edith, that's how you pronounce it. The singer from France from the Second World War. That actually in the last scenes. Edith Piaf. Edith. The last scene of Saving Private Ryan. The guy's translating, interpreting the song to everyone,
What
and
is
that
what's
is
the
the
name
sound.
of the song?
Oh, I don't remember, man. I will be lying to you. But what I know is that that's the sound of Second World War in Europe. Edith Piaf. That tremolo into the voice in French.
Yeah, so
That will be that. Go ahead.
the song is titled Non je ne regrette rien.
Not the night of the what?
Non je ne regrette rien. No, I don't
Cool.
regret rien. Or I don't have any regrets.
I don't have it. I'm going. Cool.
Which that song actually gets used a lot. So um
Because it
the
was the sound of the World War II. It's
yeah,
like we're
but
talking
they
about the Taylor Swift of the World War.
oh my God. Well, no, but they use it in Inception, and actually Rammstein borrows some of the lyrics in their song Fooling in Paris.
I'm
He
not
sings some
I'm
of
not
that.
shitting you. She was the Taylor Swift of
I mean,
1940.
yeah, I mean that's why I laugh because it's like it's an apropos statement. But
So
it's
if we
also a
go to
good song.
war, go to war, people will be doing shake it up, shake it up. That means that when you shake it up, shake it up. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Well, because
Sorry, guys.
the haters are gonna hate.
Hate. Yeah. Um. Music. Your music.
I'm gonna go with the tried and true red, white, and blue, the Star Spangled Banner, baby.
That's a good
Listen,
choice.
there
No, I did. I
are
did it.
there's two there's two types of renditions of the Star Spangled Banner. The ones that aren't very good, and then ones that are fucking awesome. There's no in between. I've never heard like a mediocre one. They either suck or they're really, really good. And I know
Yeah.
a lot of international people criticizing the United States. They're like, "You guys really love your national anthem." I'm like, "Yeah, because it's a fucking banger."
And you know what is really cool, man? Like in Mexico or in Argentina, you are not allowed to play with the anthem. You cannot make your own versions. It's against the law.
See, so
So
here's
that hurts a little the creativity to love and embrace something.
but
Go ahead.
I will say this. I actually don't like it when people play with the Star Spangled Banner. I think it's perfect the
Really?
way it is. Yeah, I don't because
No,
and then
but like let's say like Metallica play it in their style. They don't mess with it, but play in their style. That would be illegal in
that's
Mexico.
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
that
don't
kills the loyalty to it. Like if I want to make right now a version as again and forever of the Mexican anthem, the Spanish anthem, or the Argentina anthem. That the Argentina anthem is beautiful, man. Right? I'll go to jail.
Well,
At least I get. I
I was gonna say
won't. I won't. I'm here.
not here. You won't, but yeah.
But it's like, and I think that there's a big influence of how you perceive your country. So it's not about that. Obviously, not me. God knows that I love America, and God knows that we don't have to go deeper. But people that are outside from the beginning, like, why they can't do that? Understand freedom is really complicated, and that's the
Mhm.
truth. It's not that this is the best country in the world. It's that it is the best country in the world. And when you're the top of the notch, you will always gonna have a new Chevy come to take the place. But it's really hard. Yes, we have our problems. I know, but who doesn't, right? Yes, our president forgets the language that he's speaking, but who doesn't?
I tell you, one time they were playing the Mexican anthem, and I said, "Viva Taco Tuesday," and it took me to jail.
You saw what happened yesterday, right?
Oh God, what now? Probably, but what are you
He
referring
he
to?
probably went, I want to talk, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
What, dude? So
Like
anyway,
you can't even fucking hide it anymore.
so
And then
don't do presentations. We all know Kamala is the one running everything with the Obama family. Just fucking accept it and live with grace, man. Because thanks God, Russia is entertained with Ukraine. But this happened right in the 70s, and we were in such a big problem, man.
yeah.
Like,
And then
I mean, of
meanwhile,
course, I don't want war in Ukraine, and I feel for the families there. They need to do something with Ukraine. They need to grab all the hot women between 19 and 27 and send it to my house.
I think a lot of them have already left actually, but um and the meanwhile you've got Donald Trump showing up at the Libertarian National Convention to be like, "You guys should vote for me. We want the same things." And I'm like, you know what? They're not going to do it because the libertarian, as someone who used to identify as a libertarian, what turned me off of them is how, as a political party, they spend more time arguing with each other than anyone else, and some of the views are pretty damn extreme. Like
Have you
not,
ever been in a relationship, friendship, or girlfriend, or whatever, in a rock band that when people don't listen to you, you start fighting with your own? That's what's happening there. In a
yeah.
point, it's like, dude, we don't care about you. So they start fighting to each other. I don't understand this necessity to fight.
Well, what it is, and I've identified it. So what it is, and it's not dangerous per se, but it's very unproductive. So for a lot of libertarians, every hill is a hill to die on. Like they will not budge, they
Yeah.
will not compromise. And I'm sorry, you're not like, I'm sorry. We need tax funded roads. We do, at least right now. I know you guys believe all taxation is theft. It's not. Um, like
Then how are we gonna pay salaries
that's
of the cops? How are we
that's what
gonna
I'm saying.
build more
Well, no, so
floors?
they would say that realistically you just hire private security. It's like, okay, who's going to pay for that? Like, yeah, it's problematic. However, I like the libertarian spirit a lot. So I consider
The
myself a
spirit
moderate.
is good.
Yeah, I consider myself a moderate libertarian where instead of saying the government's always bad, I ask myself, okay, can we realistically do this without the government? And if we can, I'm all for it. But yeah, so that's enough for the politics for tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Oz?
So
Is that Ozzy?
that's Ozzy growling because he's supposed to work at this time and he's trained. So he's like, he's talking to you. Like, what the hell, dude?
That's
But
hilarious.
thank you very much, Jake. I really thought that you were gonna have everyone here to come and say hello to me for my birthday. I'm not gonna say that I'm disappointed because the podcast finished being so entertaining that I'm good. But can you plan for next year that everybody comes in the company and say hello to me? I would really appreciate it.
I don't think I can tell everyone to have an orgasm on your birthday, but I mean, I can try.
What are you talking about? I said just come to the podcast, dumbass. Not, you know what I mean.
Well, I'm not here to tell them what they can and can't jerk off to.
It's called organizing a Zoom party for your friend. It's not that hard.
Hey, they already hit you up in the WhatsApp group.
I know I got really a lot of congratulations of everyone. I really appreciate it. But no, I'm just saying, you know what? They would come and say, "Hey, hi, you awesome Master Max. We're here to serve you in your day." That's what I thought, but it's okay. I forgive you for that. I'm just kidding, man. It's been a good. It's been a the way that a birthday's supposed to be. I woke up eating McDonald's. I've been eating chocolates all day. Believe it or not, I passed the fancy stuff a long time ago. You know this. Just share it with the audience. I had sandwiches for lunch. Right? Um, I have a recording session for 4 hours, then meetings about our company, new podcasts coming in, two more podcasts I got today, plus the one that we already closed, and the other one, four are gonna come next week. Um, and then we got this podcast and bringing Belena to the podcast. I'm talking about World War movies. It's a great birthday. So thank you very much, my co-host. I salute you. To our audience, thank you very much. Please don't forget to share, like. I always forget to say that at the beginning. Please share. It's not gonna hurt you. You can put a like. It's not gonna hurt you just to put a like. If you don't like us, just put a like to mess with our heads, so we think we're famous. Okay? Okay?
Yeah. And so
Thank you.
I would like to close the show since we are observing Memorial Day late, but I would like to just recognize and acknowledge all of our fallen veterans who couldn't be here to enjoy the podcast today. We're always indebted to every single one of you, and your sacrifice hopefully will not be in vain. It hasn't yet. Hopefully, they don't fuck this country up so bad that it will have been in vain. But,
And if not, we are here to save it with communication.
yeah,
Thank you, everyone.
thank you.